They call me the #1 unpredictable ninja. But what if I told you my power runs deeper than chakra? What if every time I defied the impossible, every time I stood back up when I should have stayed down, it wasn't just the nine tails inside me? What if I'm the reincarnation of the Monkey King himself, Jin Mori? Because legends don't just die, they're reborn stronger.
The sky cracked. Not metaphorically, not figuratively. The actual sky above Konohagakure split apart like glass struck by a hammer, clouds parting in a perfect vertical line that extended as far as the eye could see. At the center of this impossible phenomenon stood a 5-year-old boy with spiky blonde hair and 3 whisker marks on each cheek, his right leg extended straight up in a perfect axe kick, still trembling from the force of movement. Naruto Uzumaki didn't understand what he'd just done. One moment, a Chunin had been advancing on him with murderous intent. Another, accident waiting to happen in the back alleys of Konoha. The next moment, his body moved on instinct, his legs snapping upward with such speed and force that the air itself couldn't handle the displacement. The Chunin was embedded 3 feet into the ground, unconscious, his body creating a perfect crater. Naruto lowered his leg slowly, staring at his own limb like it belonged to someone else. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from something else entirely. Something that felt like recognition, like coming home. A grin spread across his face, wild and hungry. That was fun. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage, stood in his office reviewing the incident report for the 7th time that month. Each report detailed the same impossible occurrence. Naruto Uzumaki, Jinchuriki of the 9 Tails, was demonstrating physical capabilities that defied explanation. He kicked through a stone wall without using chakra, Hiruzen muttered, reading the latest account. The Anbu monitoring him confirmed no chakra enhancement, just pure physical force. The boy is 5 years old, his advisor noted. This shouldn't be possible. Hiruzen set down the report and gazed out the window toward the orphanage where Naruto lived. The boy was different, that much was certain. But different how? The 9 Tails chakra didn't manifest this way. This was something else entirely, something the aging Hokage couldn't begin to understand. Naruto discovered his body could do things that didn't make sense. He could jump higher than buildings without trying. His kicks carried enough force to shatter stone. When he moved, really moved, the world seemed to slow down around him. And sometimes when he was alone and still, he felt something inside him, like a massive presence sleeping just beneath his consciousness, waiting. The village treated him like garbage. He knew that much. The glares, the whispers, the accidents that happened when adults thought no one was watching. But Naruto found he didn't care as much as he probably should. Because when someone tried to hurt him, his body responded in ways that felt natural, instinctive. Ways that left his attackers broken and beaten without Naruto fully understanding how he'd done it. He was 6 when he first consciously threw a proper kick in training. The orphanage had a small courtyard where children could play. Naruto stood there alone, as usual, and something compelled him to move. He spun on his left foot, his right leg whipping around in a perfect circular motion. "Wetchuk," he whispered, the word appearing in his mind like he'd always known it. The kick displaced air with an audible crack. The wooden fence 20 feet away exploded into splinters. Naruto landed in a ready stance, breathing steady, grin spreading wider. Again. Ashguak. By age 7, Naruto had established a routine. Every morning before dawn, he trained in the woods outside the village. No one bothered him there, no one watched. Just him and the trees he used as training dummies. His body moved through forms he didn't remember learning. Kicks flowing into kicks, acrobatic movements that seemed impossible for his size, techniques that felt ancient and new simultaneously. Nario Chagi! His axe kick split a tree trunk vertically down the middle. Yup Chagi! His sidekick launched another tree off its roots entirely. Dwit Chagi! His back kick created a crater in the ground 10 feet across. Naruto stood in the center of destruction, breathing hard, covered in sweat, and absolutely loving every second of it. This felt right in a way nothing else did. This felt like purpose. Quite impressive, a voice called from the tree line. Naruto spun, dropping into a combat stance instinctively. A man stood there wearing a green jumpsuit and orange leg warmers, thick eyebrows raised in genuine surprise. Despite the ridiculous outfit, something about him radiated power. "Who are you?" Naruto asked, not relaxing his stance. The man smiled widely, giving a thumbs up. "Might Guy, Konoha's beautiful green beast. And you, young man, are the most naturally gifted taijutsu practitioner I have ever witnessed." Naruto blinked. No one in Konoha had ever complimented him before. "Really? Your movements are completely unorthodox," Guy continued, walking closer and examining the destroyed training area. "You fight exclusively with your legs, using momentum and rotation in ways I've never seen. Your technique is self-taught, yes? I guess?" Naruto scratched his head. "It just feels natural, like I've always known how to do this." Guy's eyes widened with understanding, or at least his version of it. The power of youth. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten. This is the springtime of genius blooming. Naruto had no idea what half of those words meant, but Guy's enthusiasm was infectious. "Can you teach me?" "Teach you?" Guy laughed, a booming sound that echoed through the forest. "My dear boy, I cannot teach you what you already know instinctively, but I can help you perfect it. I can push your limits and help you discover the true depth of your potential. What do you say, Naruto Uzumaki? Will you become my student?" For the first time in his life, Naruto felt tears prick his eyes. Someone saw him, really saw him, not as the Nine Tails container, but as himself. "Yeah," Naruto said, grin returning full force. "Let's do it." Guy extended his hand. Naruto took it. Neither of them knew they just formed a partnership that would shake the very foundations of the shinobi world. No. Training with Might Guy was unlike anything Naruto had imagined. 500 laps around Konoha, on your hands, while balancing rocks on your feet. Guy didn't just push Naruto. He obliterated every previous conception Naruto had of physical limitations. The training was insane, excessive, and absolutely perfect, because Naruto's body responded to it in ways that defied logic. After the first month, Naruto could complete exercises that would hospitalize most shonen. After 3 months, he was matching training regimens designed for jonin. After 6 months, Guy had to start creating entirely new exercises because Naruto had exceeded everything in the standard curriculum. "Your body adapts at an impossible rate," Guy observed, watching Naruto complete one-armed handstand push-ups while balancing 3 boulders on his feet. "It's as if physical training doesn't just improve you, it awakens something already present within you." "Feels like I'm remembering rather than learning," Naruto agreed, not even breathing hard despite the exercise. Guy nodded thoughtfully. "Then let us help you remember everything." The real breakthrough came when they focused on Naruto's leg techniques. Guy was a taijutsu master himself, but even he had to admit Naruto's style was something entirely unique. "You've mentioned these technique names before," Guy said during a sparring session. "Huechuk, Neryo Chagi, Yop Chagi. They sound Korean, but I've never encountered them in any martial arts text." Naruto shrugged, blocking Guy's punch with a casual leg sweep. "They just feel right. When I move, the names appear in my head, like they've always been there." "Then we shall build upon this foundation," Guy declared. "You will create your own martial art, drawing from these instinctive techniques. We shall call it Renewal Taekwondo," Naruto interrupted, the words coming unbidden. "Taekwondo for short," Guy's eyes sparkled. "Perfect. The power of youth creates a new legend." Together they worked to catalog and refine Naruto's techniques. Guy provided the training methodology and physical conditioning, while Naruto's instincts guided the actual combat applications. It was a partnership that produced results beyond either of their wildest expectations. By age 8, Naruto could execute combinations that left Guy struggling to counter. By age 9, their sparring sessions drew crowds of curious shinobi who couldn't believe what they were witnessing. By age 10, Naruto had developed Ari Taekwondo into a complete martial arts system that existed nowhere else in the world. Mandal Ryo Chagi. Naruto's spinning kick generated a visible shockwave, forcing Guy to use chakra enhancement just to block. Even then, the force sent him skidding back 20 feet. "Excellent," Guy shouted, grinning despite the impact. "But can you handle this?" Guy launched into his own assault, a flurry of punches and kicks that would overwhelm most shonen. Naruto met him head-on, his body moving with fluid grace, deflecting strikes with minimal effort, countering with devastating precision. This was what Naruto lived for. The thrill of combat, the challenge of a strong opponent, the pure joy of pushing himself to the limit. His grin was wild, almost feral. "You're pretty strong, Guy-sensei," Naruto called out, ducking under a high kick and responding with a rapid combination. "But I'm just getting started. That's the spirit of youth, Naruto. Show me everything." Their battle escalated, each exchange faster and more powerful than the last. Watching shinobi had to back away as the shockwaves from their strikes began damaging the training ground. This wasn't just sparring anymore. This was a genuine clash between masters of taijutsu. Naruto felt something stir inside him, that sleeping presence awakening just slightly. Power flooded his limbs, his speed doubled, his strikes became sharper, more precise. Turbo kick! The enhanced speed kick was too fast for even Guy to track properly. It caught him square in the chest, launching him across the training field. Guy flipped in midair, landing on his feet, but Naruto was already there, leg raised high. Nario Chagi! The axe kick came down like divine judgment. Guy crossed his arms overhead to block, channeling maximum chakra reinforcement. The impact created a crater 15 feet deep, spiderweb cracks spreading out for 50 yards in every direction. When the dust settled, both fighters stood facing each other, breathing hard, grinning like maniacs. "Wonderful," Guy exclaimed. "Your power increases with each battle. At this rate, you'll surpass me within the year." Naruto's grin widened. "That's the plan." The academy was a joke. Naruto enrolled at age 10, 2 years later than normal, because Hiruzen had wanted him to have adequate preparation. What the Hokage really meant was that he wanted Naruto to have better control over his abilities before exposing him to other children. It didn't matter. Naruto dominated from day one. "Today we'll be reviewing basic taijutsu katas," Iruka Umino announced to the class. "These forms are the foundation of..." "Boring," Naruto interrupted, feet propped up on his desk. "Can we skip to the actual fighting part?" Iruka's eye twitched. "Naruto, these fundamentals are essential for... I'll spar anyone here right now. All of them at once if you want." The class erupted in outrage. Students shouted protests, calling Naruto arrogant and stupid. A few of the clan heirs looked genuinely offended. "Fine," Iruka said, seeing an opportunity to teach Naruto some humility. "You versus Sasuke Uchiha. Let's see how your attitude holds up against the academy's top student." Sasuke stood, confidence radiating from every movement. The last Uchiha, genius of his generation, already displaying skills beyond his years. He stepped onto the sparring mat, dropping into a textbook combat stance. Naruto hopped down from his desk, hands in his pockets, looking completely relaxed. He didn't even bother with a stance. "Whenever you're ready," Naruto said, grin playing across his face. Sasuke moved first, a quick combination of punches and a low sweep, exactly what the academy taught. Textbook perfect execution. Naruto leaned back slightly, letting the punches pass inches from his face. When the sweep came, he simply lifted his leg, letting Sasuke's leg pass underneath. That all? Sasuke's Sharingan hadn't awakened yet, but his pride burned hot enough to compensate. He launched into a more aggressive assault, throwing everything he had at Naruto, mixing strikes with feints, using proper distancing and timing. Naruto dodged it all without moving his hands from his pockets. Every strike missed by millimeters. Every feint was ignored. Every combination was read before it fully developed. "You're pretty good for an academy student," Naruto commented casually. "But you're way too textbook, too predictable." Sasuke growled, frustration mounting and committed to a heavy right cross. Naruto's leg moved. Huechuk! The roundhouse kick was gentle by Naruto's standards. He held back significantly, but it still caught Sasuke in the ribs and sent him flying across the room, crashing into the far wall. The class went silent. Sasuke struggled to his feet, clutching his side, staring at Naruto with a mixture of shock and fury. That single kick had done more damage than any spar he'd ever experienced. "How?" Sasuke gasped. Naruto finally took his hands out of his pockets, dropping into a proper stance. "Want to see more? I've got plenty of techniques to show you." "That's enough," Iruka shouted, rushing to check on Sasuke. "Naruto, that was excessive force." "He asked for a spar," Naruto shrugged. I held back way more than I wanted to. Iruka realized with dawning horror that Naruto was telling the truth. That casual kick that had defeated Sasuke in one shot was Naruto holding back significantly. What could this boy do at full power? Everyone sit down, Iruka ordered, voice shaky. Class dismissed early today. As students filed out, whispering frantically about what they'd witnessed, Naruto caught Sasuke's eye. The Uchiha was staring at him with intense focus, that look of someone who'd found a goal to obsess over. Naruto grinned. Get stronger, Sasuke. Way stronger. Then maybe you'll give me a fun fight. It was the beginning of a rivalry, though one far more one-sided than in any other timeline. The academy graduation exam approached, and Naruto found himself monumentally bored. The curriculum was too slow, the techniques too basic, the challenges too easy. He spent most classes sleeping or training in the woods with Guy. You seem distracted, my youthful student, Guy observed during one of their sessions. Academy stuff is just... Naruto paused mid-kick, searching for words. It's like they're teaching me how to walk when I already know how to run. No, scratch that, when I already know how to fly. Guy nodded sagely. Perhaps it is time to explore more of your potential. You've mastered the fundamental techniques of Taekwondo, but I sense there is more within you, waiting to be discovered. Like what? That, my dear student, is for you to discover. The greatest techniques cannot be taught. They must be awakened through necessity and challenge. Naruto considered this. Guy was right. Sometimes during training, he felt flashes of something more. Movements his body wanted to make but didn't quite know how yet. Techniques dancing just beyond his conscious grasp. Let's spar, Naruto said suddenly. But this time, actually try to hit me. For real. Guy's expression became serious. Naruto, if I fight at full power... I want you to, Naruto interrupted. I need to be pushed past my limits. That's when I feel it most, like I'm about to remember something important. Guy studied his student for a long moment, then nodded. Very well, but we take this to the deep forest, away from the village. And if you say stop, we stop immediately. They traveled to a remote valley, miles from Konoha, where their battle wouldn't endanger anyone or destroy village property. Guy removed his weights, the ground cratering from the impact as hundreds of pounds of metal hit the earth. Last chance to reconsider, Guy offered. Naruto's grin was pure anticipation. Show me what a real jonin can do. Guy vanished. Even with Naruto's incredible perception, he barely tracked the movement. Guy appeared behind him, leg already swinging toward his head. Naruto twisted, raising his own leg to intercept. The clash of their kicks generated a shockwave that flattened trees for 50 yards in every direction. Faster! Naruto shouted, pushing off Guy's leg and launching into his own assault. Hit me faster! Guy obliged, his speed increasing to levels that would make most jonin look stationary. His fists and feet created sonic booms with each strike, the air itself catching fire from the friction. Naruto met him blow for blow, his body moving on pure instinct now, reaching for something deeper than conscious thought. His kicks matched Guy's speed, his dodges grew more efficient, his counters more devastating. And then, in the midst of their exchange, Naruto felt it. A technique crystallizing in his mind, his body remembering something his consciousness had never learned. His leg began to glow with ethereal blue energy, power condensing around his foot like a dragon coiling for the strike. What is? Guy began. Blue dragon! Naruto's ascending kick erupted with blue energy. The force and power multiplied exponentially beyond anything he'd done before. The kick created a massive blue dragon construct that surged upward, carrying devastating force. Guy managed to dodge, but the blue dragon continued its ascent, piercing through the clouds and literally splitting the sky above them, just like that day when Naruto was 5 years old. Naruto landed, staring at his leg in amazement. Blue energy still flickered around his foot, slowly dissipating. What was that? Guy landed nearby, eyes wide with shock. That was beyond anything I've ever witnessed. The power, the technique, the sheer magnitude of force. Naruto, where did you learn that? I didn't learn it, Naruto breathed, realization dawning. I remembered it. Guy-sensei, there's more. I can feel so much more inside me, just waiting to come out. Guy approached, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Then we shall unlock it all together. Whatever you are, whatever power sleeps within you, we will help it awaken properly. This is your path of youth, Naruto. Naruto nodded, but his mind was racing. That technique had felt familiar, natural, like greeting an old friend. And it was just one among many. He could sense other techniques in that same mental space, waiting for the right moment to emerge. What was he? The question haunted Naruto over the following months. Training with Guy intensified as they worked to unlock more of Naruto's hidden arsenal. Each session pushed harder than the last, forcing Naruto to dig deeper, to reach for power that felt both foreign and intimately familiar. The second breakthrough came during a particularly brutal sparring match. Guy had escalated to using his chakra gates, opening the first gate to increase his power. Even then, Naruto was matching him, the two masters of taijutsu creating destruction on a scale that would alarm any watching shinobi. Huechuk! Leaf Hurricane! Their kicks collided midair, the impact creating a crater 30 feet deep. They separated, circled, clashed again. The mountain valley they'd chosen for training was being systematically destroyed, reshaped by the force of their combat. Guy opened the second gate, his power and speed doubling. Now Naruto was being pressed, actually having to work to keep up. His instincts screamed at him, reaching for something, pulling at that reservoir of remembered power. And then Guy's kick broke through his guard, a devastating strike heading straight for his face. Naruto's body moved before his mind could process it. His legs snapped up in a perfect axe kick, red energy exploding around his foot like flames. The kick met Guy's attack and completely overwhelmed it, the red energy surging downward with apocalyptic force. Red Dragon! The descending kick carved a canyon into the earth, splitting the ground for hundreds of yards, red energy burning like hellfire along the massive fissure. Guy barely managed to dodge, the technique passing inches from his body, the heat from the red flames singing his jumpsuit. When the destruction settled, a new canyon existed where there had been solid ground moments before. Naruto stood at the edge of the massive fissure, red energy still crackling around his leg. Blue Dragon for rising attacks, Red Dragon for descending strikes. I remember now, these are advanced RE Taekwondo techniques. Advanced? Guy echoed weakly, staring at the canyon. Naruto, that technique could kill S-rank shinobi. That's not just advanced, that's borderline legendary. Then I've got a lot more legendary techniques to unlock, Naruto said, grin returning. This is getting fun. Guy looked at his student, this 10-year-old boy who could split mountains with his kicks, and felt a mixture of pride and concern. What would happen when Naruto unlocked his full potential? What kind of power was sleeping inside him? Let's continue, Guy said, determination hardening his voice. If you have this much power waiting to awaken, then we need to ensure you master it completely. Power without control is dangerous, but power with mastery? That's what makes a true legend. Naruto nodded, appreciating Guy's wisdom. His sensei was right. These techniques were emerging instinctively, but he needed to truly understand them, to control them perfectly, to make them his own. The training continued, brutal and unrelenting. Naruto pushed himself harder than ever before, determined to unlock every technique, every skill, every ounce of power that existed within him. By the time graduation approached, Naruto had mastered several more techniques. Samsu Taekyon, a devastating triple kick combination, enhanced versions of his basic kicks that multiplied their force, and the recoilless technique, which eliminated all wasted movement for maximum efficiency. But he could still feel more, deeper within. Ultimate techniques that required more than just training to unlock. They required necessity, genuine life or death stakes, or moments of profound transformation. Those would come in time. Graduation day arrived, and Naruto showed up mostly out of obligation. The written test was annoyingly easy. All that reading Guy made him do about combat theory and strategy had paid off. The shuriken test was boring. He just kicked the weapons mid-flight to redirect them into perfect bullseyes, much to Iruka's bewilderment. The final test was the clone jutsu. Naruto Uzumaki, Iruka called. Naruto walked to the front of the class, hands in pockets, looking supremely unconcerned. The clone jutsu was a basic chakra control exercise, creating simple illusions of yourself. Naruto had practiced it exactly once, found it boring, and never bothered again. Whenever you're ready, Iruka prompted. Naruto formed the hand seal, pushed some chakra into the technique, and created exactly 3 clones. They were slightly translucent, clearly low effort, but they were technically functional. Adequate, Iruka said, making a note. You pass. Cool, Naruto said, already walking back to his seat. Mizuki, the assistant instructor, frowned. He'd been planning to manipulate Naruto using the clone test as a failure point to trick him into stealing the forbidden scroll. But Naruto had passed, and now his scheme needed adjustment. No matter, there were other ways. The team assignments were announced the next day. Hiruzen had spent considerable time deliberating over where to place Naruto. The boy was far too strong to be on a normal Genin team, but he needed teammates, needed to learn cooperation. Finally, the Hokage had made his decision. Team 7, Iruka announced. Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. Your Jonin instructor will be Kakashi Hatake. Naruto raised an eyebrow. The Sharingan using Jonin copied Ninja Kakashi. That might actually be interesting. Sasuke looked annoyed at being paired with Naruto, which was amusing. Sakura looked conflicted, her crush on Sasuke warring with her fear of Naruto's reputation. Great, Naruto muttered. This'll be fun. Kakashi Hatake arrived 3 hours late to meet his Genin team, expecting to find frustrated children ready to complain. Instead, he found Naruto asleep on a bench, Sasuke brooding in a corner, and Sakura nervously reading a medical text. Yo, Kakashi greeted lazily. My first impression of you 3 is, you're interesting. Naruto opened one eye. You're late. Got lost on the path of life. Anyway, let's do introductions. Name, likes, dislikes, dreams for the future. Sakura went first, talking about her crush on Sasuke and her desire to be a kunoichi. Sasuke went next, talking only about revenge against his brother and rebuilding his clan. Standard responses. Then Naruto. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I like fighting strong opponents and training with Guy Sensei. I dislike boring people and slow fights. My dream? Naruto's grin was sharp. To fight everyone worth fighting and prove I'm the strongest. Kakashi's visible eye narrowed. This wasn't the cheerful, recognition-seeking Naruto from the reports. This boy had the confidence and bearing of a seasoned fighter, and that mention of might guy. Interesting goal, Kakashi said carefully. Tomorrow we have a survival test. Meet me at Training Ground 3 at dawn, and don't eat breakfast. You'll just throw it up. After dismissing the Genin, Kakashi immediately sought out Guy. He found the Jonin completing his 500th lap around Konoha, running on his hands. Guy, we need to talk about Naruto. Guy stopped mid-handstand, flipping to his feet. Ah, Kakashi, my eternal rival. Have you finally come to challenge me? I want to know about your training with Naruto Uzumaki. Guy's expression became serious, his usual exuberance fading slightly. Naruto is my student, yes. What about him? How strong is he really? Guy considered the question. Strong enough that I have to open my gates to push him, fast enough to keep pace with me at my best, skilled enough to have developed his own complete martial arts system. Kakashi, that boy is the most naturally gifted taijutsu practitioner in Konoha's history, possibly in all shinobi history. Kakashi felt a chill run down his spine. Guy didn't exaggerate when it came to taijutsu. If he said Naruto was that good, how much of it is the Nine Tails? None of it, Guy stated firmly. His abilities aren't from the fox, they're completely natural, born from instinct and refined through training. The chakra signatures don't match. This is all Naruto. Kakashi thought about his survival test tomorrow. He'd planned to test them with the bell exercise, the standard test for Genin. But if Naruto was as strong as Guy suggested, the test might not go as expected. Good. He preferred students who could surprise him. He'd planned to test them with the morning. Dawn at Training Ground. 3 found Team 7 assembled, though only Naruto looked fully awake and alert. Sakura was yawning, Sasuke was already glaring at everything, and Kakashi was somehow even later than yesterday. When the Jonin finally arrived, he pulled out 2 bells. Simple test, Kakashi explained. Try to take these bells from me before noon. Those who fail get sent back to the academy. Only 2 bells for 3 people? Sakura observed. That's right, so at least one of you is definitely going back to the academy. Sasuke tensed, immediately strategizing. Sakura looked worried. Naruto just yawned. Start, Kakashi announced. Sasuke and Sakura immediately hid, using standard academy tactics. Naruto stayed exactly where he was, hands in his pockets, looking utterly relaxed. Not going to hide? Kakashi asked, genuinely curious. Why would I hide? Naruto replied. You're right there. I'll just take the bell. Confident, aren't you? Naruto's grin was all teeth. Not confidence, just facts. Then he moved. Kakashi barely had time to register the movement before Naruto's leg was already swinging toward his head. The Jonin raised his arms to block, and the impact sent him skidding backward 20 feet, his feet carving trenches in the ground. What the hell was that force? Kakashi thought, his arms actually aching from the block. What shook? Naruto announced casually, already moving into his next attack. That's the basic one. Let me show you the fun stuff. Naryo-chagi! The axe kick came down with enough force to crater the ground where Kakashi had been standing. The Jonin substituted with a log at the last second, reappearing 30 feet away. He's not using chakra enhancement, Kakashi realized with shock. That's pure physical power. Naruto turned toward Kakashi's new position, not even breathing hard. Come on, copy ninja. They say you've copied 1,000 jutsu. Let's see them. Kakashi formed hand seals rapidly, launching a fire-style technique. Naruto simply kicked through it, his leg moving so fast it dispersed the flames before they could touch him. Jutsu are boring, Naruto declared. Fight me properly. He vanished, reappearing in front of Kakashi with impossible speed. His legs became a blur, each kick flowing into the next, creating a combination that would overwhelm most Jonin. Mandoryo-chagi! The spinning kick generated a shockwave that flattened trees. Kakashi was forced to use chakra enhancement just to survive the assault, meeting Naruto's taijutsu with his own refined close combat skills. For several minutes, they exchanged blows at a level that made the watching Sakura and Sasuke realize they weren't even in the same league. Each impact created sonic booms, each dodge left after images, each exchange reshaped the terrain. Then Naruto grinned wider. Okay, I'm getting serious now. His leg began to glow with blue energy. What? Kakashi started. Blue Dragon! The ascending kick erupted with massive blue energy, creating the dragon construct that surged upward. Kakashi managed to dodge by substituting again, but the blue dragon continued its path, splitting the sky above them exactly as it had during training. Kakashi stared at the split sky, then at Naruto, then at his own hands trembling slightly from the previous exchanges. I give up, Kakashi said flatly. What? Naruto blinked. Here. Kakashi tossed him both bells. You pass. Congratulations, you're officially the first Genin to defeat a Jonin instructor in the bell test. Sasuke emerged from hiding, Sharingan blazing, activated at some point during the fight from sheer frustration at the power gap. That's not fair. We didn't get a chance. Life's not fair, Kakashi replied, still staring at Naruto. Your teammate just demonstrated power that surpasses most Jonin. What chance did you think you had? I demand a rematch. Denied. Naruto, Sakura, you two pass. Sasuke, you fail. What? Kakashi's visible eye became hard. The point of the test was teamwork. Naruto demonstrated overwhelming power, yes, but he also revealed that raw strength can succeed where traditional tactics fail. Sakura at least had the sense to observe and learn. You just hid and waited for an opportunity that was never going to come. A shinobi who can't adapt doesn't deserve to be on my team. It was harsh, but it was also strategic. Kakashi knew Hiruzen would override his decision. The village needed Sasuke active, especially with Itachi still out there. But Sasuke needed to understand that his current path was insufficient. As expected, within hours, Hiruzen had reversed the decision, and Team 7 was officially formed with all 3 members. But the message had been sent. Naruto was on a completely different level. Team 7's first few months were deliberately kept to simple missions. Kakashi needed time to figure out how to actually train this team when one member could already beat most Jonin. D-rank missions were torture for Naruto. I'm not chasing another cat, Naruto declared, arms crossed. That's beneath me. It's a mission, Kakashi replied tiredly. Genin do D-ranks. That's how it works. I'll spar you for it. I win, we skip to C-rank missions. You win, I'll do 100 D-ranks without complaining. Kakashi considered this. On one hand, it was highly irregular. On the other hand, Naruto was clearly bored enough to become a problem. Fine, but if you lose, you also have to stop making Sasuke cry. I don't make him cry. You made him cry yesterday when you dodged all his fire-style jutsu by kicking the flames out of the air. That was hilarious, not mean. They sparred in Training Ground 3 with Sasuke and Sakura watching. The fight lasted exactly 3 minutes before Kakashi yielded, sporting several bruises and a new appreciation for how much Naruto had been holding back during the bell test. Fine, Kakashi groaned. I'll request C-rank missions. Their first C-rank was escorting a bridge builder named Tazuna back to Wave Country. Standard protection duty, possibly some bandits, nothing serious. The ambush by the Demon Brothers, 2 Chunin-level missing nin, happened on the second day of travel. Naruto sensed them before they attacked, his combat instinct screaming danger. When the chain-wielding assassins burst from the trees, Naruto was already moving. Turbo kick! His enhanced speed kick caught the first Demon Brother mid-leap. The force of the impact sending the man flying into the trees so hard he embedded in a trunk 30 feet up. The second Demon Brother tried to wrap his chain around Naruto, but Naruto simply kicked the chain, shattering the metal links like glass. Yup, Chagi! The side kick sent the second assassin crashing into his brother. Both fell unconscious instantly. The entire encounter took maybe 5 seconds. Well, Kakashi said into the stunned silence. That was efficient. Tazuna stared at Naruto like he'd seen a ghost. What? What are you? Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto replied cheerfully. Just your average genin. There is nothing average about that, Tazuna muttered. The mission continued, but Kakashi was now on high alert. The Demon Brothers were too skilled for a simple bridge builder escort. Something bigger was happening. His suspicions were confirmed when Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, appeared in a water clone ambush. Well, Zabuza's voice echoed from the mist he'd created. Kakashi of the Sharingan, this might be entertaining. Naruto perked up immediately. A swordsman of the mist? Now we're talking. This might actually be fun. Naruto, stay back, Kakashi ordered. This opponent is above Jonin level. Yeah, I can tell. Naruto interrupted. That's why I'm excited. Before Kakashi could stop him, Naruto vanished into the mist. There was a moment of silence. Then, Huechuk! A shockwave dispersed a section of the mist, revealing Naruto and Zabuza already engaged. The missing nin was using his massive Kubikiri-Bocho sword, swinging it with enough force to cleave through trees. Naruto was dodging every strike by millimeters, not even looking particularly concerned. You're pretty good with that sword, Naruto commented, but way too predictable. Cocky brat, Zabuza snarled, increasing his speed. I'll cut you in half! Mandorio Chagi! Naruto's spinning kick caught the flat of Kubikiri-Bocho mid-swing, and the impact actually bent the legendary blade. Zabuza's eyes widened in shock as his sword, forged to be virtually indestructible, deformed from a simple kick. What the? Nario Chagi! The axe kick came down on Zabuza's head. The missing 9 barely managed to substitute with water, reappearing on a nearby tree branch, staring at Naruto with new wariness. You're not a normal genin, Zabuza observed. Nope, Naruto grinned. Want to see something really cool? His leg began to glow with blue energy. Zabuza's survival instinct screamed at him. Whatever that technique was, he needed to avoid it. He immediately formed hand seals for his most powerful water jutsu. Water style, water dragon jutsu. A massive dragon made of water erupted from the nearby lake, surging toward Naruto with enough force to level buildings. Naruto's grin widened. Blue dragon! The ascending kick created his own dragon, this one made of pure blue energy. The 2 dragons collided mid-air, and Naruto's blue dragon simply erased Zabuza's water technique, continuing its path toward the missing 9. Zabuza barely managed to dive away, the blue dragon passing close enough to singe his skin. The technique continued upward, splitting the sky and dispersing all of Zabuza's mist in an instant. When the battlefield became clear, Zabuza was breathing hard, his sword bent, his water techniques proven ineffective, staring at a 13-year-old genin who just casually overpowered him. I retreat, Zabuza declared, using water to escape. But this isn't over. As the missing 9 vanished, Kakashi walked over to Naruto, expression unreadable behind his mask. Naruto, yeah? You just defeated one of the 7 ninja swordsmen in direct combat. He was pretty strong, Naruto said enthusiastically. Not strong enough to make me use my really serious techniques, but definitely fun. Kakashi pinched the bridge of his nose. We need to have a very long talk about power levels and mission classifications. The rest of the wave mission proceeded with less excitement, though the confrontation with Gado's mercenary army gave Naruto a chance to showcase his crowd control capabilities. 200 mercenaries were incapacitated in under a minute through a combination of basic RE Taekwondo kicks that Naruto held back significantly on to avoid killing anyone. Zabuza, witnessing this, decided discretion was the better part of valor and simply left. He hadn't survived this long by fighting battles he couldn't win. When Team 7 returned to Konoha, Hiruzen summoned Kakashi for a private meeting. "Explain," the Hokage said simply. Kakashi provided a detailed report of Naruto's abilities, the fight with Zabuza, and his growing concern about power classification. "Guy warned me," Hiruzen muttered, "but I didn't fully appreciate what he meant. Kakashi, in your professional opinion, where would you rank Naruto's combat ability?" Kakashi considered carefully. "In pure taijutsu, he's already beyond me. In overall combat capability, high jonin at minimum, possibly low S rank depending on what other techniques he has hidden. Lord Hokage, that boy isn't a genin. He's a monster disguised as one. And his control? Perfect. That's what concerns me most. He's not a raging berserker or an uncontrolled weapon. He's a calculated, intelligent fighter who knows exactly how much force to use. He deliberately held back against Zabuza to avoid killing him." Hiruzen leaned back in his chair, suddenly looking every one of his years. "The Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails becoming this powerful, other villages will react poorly if they learn the full extent of his abilities." "Then we keep it quiet," Kakashi suggested. "Continue his genin classification, give him missions that challenge him appropriately, but officially maintain that he's just a talented student. And when he fights someone he can't hold back against," Kakashi smiled grimly, "then we pray for whoever is stupid enough to force him to get serious." 3 months after Wave, during a particularly intense training session with Guy, Naruto felt something new stirring inside him. Not a technique this time, but an object, a weapon calling to him from that space where all his inherited abilities slept. "Guy-sensei, I need to try something," Naruto said suddenly, stopping mid-spar. Guy lowered his guard, recognizing the serious tone. "What is it?" Naruto closed his eyes, reaching inward, following that feeling. It was like grabbing something that had always been there but never acknowledged. He extended his hand and spoke a word that appeared in his mind. "Yoi!" Golden red light erupted from his palm, condensing and solidifying. When the light faded, Naruto held a staff, a bow staff that seemed to pulse with ancient power. It was beautiful, decorated with golden rings and red accents, feeling perfectly balanced in his grip, despite having never held it before. "A summoning technique?" Guy wondered aloud. "No," Naruto said, spinning the staff experimentally. It moved like an extension of his own body, perfectly natural. "This is mine, always has been." He swung the staff and it extended instantly, stretching 50 feet in a millisecond. Another thought, and it contracted back to normal length. Another, and it became as light as a feather. Another, and it became heavy enough to crack the ground just from resting on it. "This is Yoi," Naruto declared, the name feeling absolutely right. "My partner." Guy watched in amazement as Naruto began to move with the staff, combining it with his Ari Taekwondo. The staff extended and contracted in rhythm with his kicks, creating combinations that were both beautiful and terrifying. He could plant the staff and use it as a pivot point for spinning kicks, extend it mid-kick to add reach, or use it to pole vault into aerial kicks that seemed to defy physics. "The youthful power of a legendary weapon," Guy exclaimed. "Naruto, you continue to surpass all expectations." Naruto grinned, making Yoi shrink down to the size of a small pin, which he attached to his ear like an earring. "I feel like I've been missing a part of myself, and now it's back." "This is right, Guy-sensei. This completes me." From that day forward, Naruto trained with Yoi constantly, integrating the staff into his fighting style seamlessly. The weapon responded to his thoughts instantly, extending, contracting, multiplying its weight, even creating duplicates of itself when Naruto really concentrated. The first time Kakashi saw Naruto use Yoi in combat was during a sparring session. Naruto planted the staff, which extended instantly to become a 100-foot pillar, then used it to launch himself into the air before extending his leg. "Blue Dragon!" The combination of aerial advantage and the advanced technique created devastation on a scale that made Kakashi seriously consider whether they should be sparring inside the village at all. "Where did you get that staff?" Kakashi asked after the spar. "It's always been mine," Naruto replied, making Yoi shrink back to earring size. "I just finally remembered it." Kakashi decided he didn't want to know what else Naruto might remember in the future. No extends. The Chunin exams were announced, and Team 7 was nominated despite being only 8 months out of the academy. Kakashi's reasoning was simple. Naruto was bored with standard missions, and the exams might provide actual challenges. The written test was easy enough. Naruto had improved his analytical skills significantly through Guy's training, and the test was designed to reward information gathering anyway. The Forest of Death's second exam was where things got interesting. Team 7 encountered Team 8 on the second day, the two teams deciding to cooperate temporarily. They were discussing strategy when the air pressure changed suddenly, and everyone's survival instincts screamed danger. Orochimaru of the Sannin emerged from the trees, his presence suffocating, his killing intent washing over the Genin like a tidal wave. Sasuke froze, the Sharingan spinning futilely. Sakura collapsed from the pressure. The members of Team 8 went pale, barely maintaining consciousness. Naruto just grinned. Finally, he breathed. Someone actually dangerous. Orochimaru's eyes focused on Naruto, and for the first time, the Sannin felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Uncertainty. This boy wasn't reacting like a genin facing an S-rank threat. He was reacting like a fighter who'd found a worthy opponent. "Interesting," Orochimaru hissed. "The Nine Tails container. I wonder what you taste like." He moved, crossing 50 feet in an instant, sword extending from his mouth toward Naruto's throat. Naruto's leg moved faster. "Huachuk!" The roundhouse kick caught Orochimaru's sword, and the impact generated a shock wave that flattened every tree within a 100-yard radius. Orochimaru's eyes widened as his sword, enhanced with chakra and razor sharp, shattered against Naruto's shin. "You're pretty fast," Naruto commented, dropping into a combat stance. "This'll be fun." Orochimaru reassessed immediately. This wasn't a normal genin. This wasn't even a normal Jinchuriki. This was something else entirely. "What are you?" Orochimaru demanded. "Me? I'm just a genin who likes fighting strong opponents." Naruto's grin widened. "And you feel really strong. So, let's go." Naruto vanished, reappearing in front of Orochimaru with speed that rivaled the Sannin's own. His kicks came in a blur, each one carrying enough force to pulverize stone, creating combinations that pressed Orochimaru onto the defensive. The Sannin summoned snakes, dozens of them, all converging on Naruto simultaneously. Mondoryo Chagi! The spinning kick created a 360-degree shockwave that obliterated every snake instantly. Before Orochimaru could react, Naruto was already moving into his next technique. Samsu Taekyon! 3 kicks, instantaneous and devastating, each one aimed at vital points. Orochimaru managed to dodge the first 2 by substituting, but the third caught him in the ribs, actually cracking through his enhanced durability and sending him flying backward. The Sannin crashed through 3 trees before catching himself, hand pressed to his ribs, staring at Naruto with a mixture of fascination and genuine concern. He hurt me, Orochimaru realized. A 13-year-old genin actually injured me. More, Naruto called out cheerfully. Show me what a Sannin can really do. Orochimaru made a decision. This boy was too dangerous to engage directly, too unpredictable to capture easily. Better to retreat, observe, and plan carefully. Another time, boy, Orochimaru said, melting into the ground. I'll be very interested to see how you develop. As the Sannin's presence faded, Naruto deflated slightly. Ah, he ran away, and I was just getting warmed up. Kakashi arrived moments later, sensing the massive chakra signatures that had erupted. He found Team 7 and Team 8 safe, though shaken, and the forest destroyed for hundreds of yards in every direction. What happened? Kakashi demanded. Orochimaru showed up, Naruto explained casually. We fought a bit, then he left. Kinda disappointing, honestly. I thought the Sannin would be stronger. Kakashi stared at Naruto, then at the destruction, then back at Naruto. You fought Orochimaru the Sannin, and you're disappointed? Yeah, he ran away before I could use any of my serious techniques. Kakashi decided he needed a drink. Several drinks, possibly an entire bottle. The preliminary matches for the third exam saw Naruto matched against Rock Lee, Guy's other student. The entire arena went silent as the two taijutsu specialists faced each other, both grinning with pure anticipation. "Finally!" Lee exclaimed, dropping into his stance. "I can test myself against you, Naruto. Guy-sensei has told me so much about your abilities." "Same here," Naruto replied, falling into his own stance. "Guy-sensei says you're a genius of hard work. Let's see it." "Begin," Hayate Gecko announced. Lee moved first, his speed impressive even without his weights. Strong fist style, powerful and straightforward, exactly what Guy taught. Naruto met him blow for blow, or rather kick for kick, the two fighters creating a whirlwind of taijutsu that most of the watching genin couldn't even follow properly. "You're holding back," Lee shouted, increasing his speed. "Fight me seriously." "You're holding back too," Naruto laughed. "Those weights aren't just for show." Lee grinned, reaching down and removing his leg weights. The massive weights hit the ground with earth-shaking thuds, creating small craters. His speed tripled instantly. "Primary Lotus," Lee announced, his combination catching Naruto off guard for the first time in the match. But Naruto's body moved on instinct, his own speed increasing to match. They exchanged blows at a pace that made the air itself catch fire from friction. "Recoilless technique," Naruto announced, his movements becoming even more efficient, eliminating all wasted motion. Every strike became perfect, every dodge precise, every counter devastating. Lee found himself actually being pressed back despite his incredible speed. "I must go further," Lee declared. "Guy-sensei, please forgive me. First gate, gate of opening, open." Lee's chakra exploded, his power and speed multiplying. Now he was moving fast enough that even most jonin couldn't track him. Naruto's grin became wild. "Now we're talking. My turn to get serious." His leg began to glow with blue energy. "Blue Dragon!" The ascending kick erupted with massive force. Lee managed to dodge by using his gate-enhanced speed, but the Blue Dragon carved a canyon through the arena floor, splitting it completely in half. The watching shinobi erupted in shocked gasps and whispers. That level of destruction from a genin was unheard of. "Incredible!" Lee shouted, landing gracefully. "But I still have more. Second gate, gate of healing, open." His power increased again, his skin flushing red from the enhanced blood flow. Naruto summoned Yoi, the staff appearing in his hand in a flash of golden red light. "Let's finish this properly." He planted the staff, which extended instantly to create a 100-foot pillar. Using it as a pivot, Naruto launched into an aerial spinning kick that generated a tornado-like vortex. Lee met him in midair, the two taijutsu masters clashing a display of pure martial arts perfection that had Guy openly crying tears of joy in the stands. "The beautiful bloom of youth," Guy sobbed. "My students are glorious." The final exchange was too fast for most to see. Naruto's leg glowed red as he descended. "Red Dragon!" The devastating descending kick with red flames met Lee's gate-enhanced kick, and the collision created an explosion that cracked the arena walls. When the smoke cleared, both fighters stood facing each other, breathing hard, grinning like maniacs. Then Lee collapsed, his gate's time limit exceeded. "Winner, Naruto Uzumaki," Hayate announced. Naruto immediately rushed to Lee's side. "That was awesome. You're super strong, Lee." Lee managed a weak smile. "As are you, my friend. Next time I will defeat you." "I'm looking forward to it." Guy leapt down from the stands, gathering both his students in a crushing hug. "Youthful, so youthful. I am blessed to have such magnificent students." Kakashi watched from above, shaking his head. The power level Naruto had just displayed, that Blue Dragon technique, had carved a canyon through solid stone. The Red Dragon had created an explosion comparable to high-level ninjutsu. And Naruto had been smiling the entire time like it was the most fun he'd ever had. What will you become? Kakashi wondered. When you finally stop holding back? The finals of the Chunin exams arrived, and with them, Orochimaru's invasion of Konoha. The Sannin had planned meticulously, coordinating with Sunagakure to strike at the village's heart during the exams when security would be focused on the stadium. Naruto's match was against Neji Hyuga, a fight that under normal circumstances would have been philosophically interesting. The genius who believed in fate versus the boy who defied all expectations. But before their match could begin properly, the invasion started. Sound and Sand Ninja appeared throughout the village, and a massive three-headed snake was summoned directly into Konoha's center. "Finally!" Naruto shouted, abandoning his match immediately. "Real fighting!" He summoned Yui, the staff extending to pole vault him toward the giant snake. His entire body thrummed with excitement. This was what he lived for: genuine chaos, real danger, opponents worth fighting. The giant snake's head swung toward him, mouth opening to swallow him whole. Naruto planted Yui, which extended to match the snake's height, then launched himself directly at the creature's head. "Naruto Chagi!" The axe kick struck the snake's skull with enough force to drive the massive creature's head into the ground, creating a crater 50 feet deep. The snake thrashed, two more heads converging on Naruto simultaneously. Mandorio Chagi! The spinning kick generated a shockwave that deflected both heads, sending them crashing into buildings. Naruto rode the momentum, his body spinning through the air, Yui extending and contracting to keep him airborne. "This is fun!" he shouted, grin wild and manic. "But let me show you something better." His leg began to glow with blue energy as he ascended. Blue Dragon! The technique carved through the giant snake like it wasn't even there, the blue energy dragon splitting the creature in half from tail to heads. The massive summon dissipated in a cloud of smoke, and Naruto landed on a rooftop, already looking for his next target. He found it quickly, a group of Sand Jonin coordinating an assault on the hospital. Naruto's body blurred, covering the distance in seconds. The Sand Jonin barely had time to register his presence before his kick started landing. Huechuk! Yoke Chagi! Dwit Chagi! Basic techniques, but executed with such speed and precision that the Jonin couldn't mount any defense. Within 30 seconds, all six were incapacitated, groaning on the ground with shattered limbs and crushed ribs. "Too weak," Naruto muttered, already moving toward the next fight. He found Kakashi engaged with multiple Sound Jonin, struggling slightly against the numbers. Naruto didn't even slow down. "Samsu Taekyon!" 3 instantaneous kicks, each one striking a different opponent with devastating precision. All 3 Sound Jonin dropped unconscious before Kakashi could even process what had happened. "Thanks for the assist," Kakashi said dryly. "No problem. Where's the real fight?" The Hokage is engaged with Orochimaru on the rooftop, but Naruto was already gone, pole vaulting with Yui toward the barrier where Hiruzen faced Orochimaru and the resurrected first and second Hokage. The barrier prevented entry, but Naruto didn't care about barriers. His leg glowed red as he descended from above. "Red Dragon!" The devastating descending kick struck the barrier with apocalyptic force. The Sound Four maintaining the barrier screamed as the feedback overwhelmed their chakra, and the barrier shattered completely. Naruto crashed through, landing in the middle of the battlefield, Yui spinning in his hands. "Naruto!" Hiruzen shouted. "Get out of here! This isn't!" "Old man, you look tired," Naruto interrupted, eyes fixed on Orochimaru. "Let me handle this snake bastard." Orochimaru's eyes widened slightly. The boy from the Forest of Death, now even more powerful, stood before him with absolute confidence. "How bold!" Orochimaru hissed. "But you face the first and second Hokage now. Even you cannot." "Don't care," Naruto said flatly. "They're already dead. You're the one I'm going to kick into paste." The first Hokage moved, his wood style creating massive wooden dragons that surged toward Naruto. The second Hokage followed up with water techniques that combined with the wood to create an overwhelming assault. Naruto planted Yui, the staff extending and multiplying, creating a forest of golden red pillars that intercepted every attack. Then he moved, his speed beyond anything he'd shown before, appearing directly in front of Orochimaru. Turbo kick! The enhanced speed kick caught Orochimaru in the chest before he could react, sending the Sannin flying backward through multiple buildings. Before Orochimaru could recover, Naruto was already there, leg raised high. Naruto Chagi! The axe kick drove Orochimaru into the ground, creating another massive crater. The Sannin coughed blood, his enhanced durability barely keeping him alive. This power, Orochimaru thought hazily, where does it come from? Hiruzen watched in amazement as Naruto dominated the battle, simultaneously fending off the 2 resurrected Hokage while pressing Orochimaru. The boy's movements were perfect, his technique flawless, his power overwhelming. But then something changed. Naruto felt it, A surge of energy from deep within, something greater than any technique he'd accessed before. The sleeping presence inside him stirred, responding to his fighting spirit, his joy in combat, his desire to utterly dominate his opponents. His body began to change. Golden energy erupted around Naruto, forming an aura that pushed back both Hokage simultaneously. From his tailbone, something emerged, a tail, golden and covered in ethereal fur, swishing behind him with a life of its own. Naruto's physical capabilities multiplied exponentially. His speed increased to levels that made everything he'd shown before look slow. His strength magnified to the point where simply moving created shockwaves. "What is this?" Naruto whispered, staring at his hands as golden energy crackled around them. "This power, this is." He looked up, and his eyes had changed, still blue, but now with an intensity and presence that made even Orochimaru instinctively retreat. "Monkey King mode," Naruto said, the name appearing in his mind like all the others. "So this is the next level." Orochimaru made a decision immediately. Retreat. The Sannin used everything he had to escape, abandoning the invasion, abandoning his plans, focused solely on survival. Because the presence Naruto now radiated wasn't human. It was something divine, something ancient, something that his instincts screamed could end him effortlessly. Naruto didn't pursue. He stood there, golden tail swishing, examining this new transformation. It felt natural, right, like this was always meant to be part of him. Hiruzen approached carefully. "Naruto, what just happened?" "I'm not sure," Naruto admitted, the transformation fading, the tail disappearing. "But I think I just unlocked something big, old man, something that's been sleeping inside me this whole time." The third Hokage looked at destruction around them. The shattered barrier, the defeated enemies, the fleeing invasion force, all stopped by a single 13-year-old genin who just revealed he possessed even greater power than previously known. "The village will want answers," Hiruzen said quietly. "Tell them I'm strong," Naruto replied simply. "Tell them I'm getting stronger, and tell them that anyone who threatens Konoha will have to deal with me." It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. A declaration from someone who just demonstrated the power to back it up. The invasion was repelled, but at a cost. Hiruzen had been injured during his battle before Naruto arrived, and though he survived thanks to Naruto's intervention, the aging Hokage's condition was deteriorating rapidly. "We need Tsunade," Hiruzen wheezed from his hospital bed. "She's the only one who can fully heal these injuries, and the village needs a new Hokage. I'm too old, too injured. It's time." Kakashi and Jiraiya stood by the bedside, both grim. "I'll find her," Jiraiya volunteered, "but she's been traveling for years. It could take months." "Take Naruto," Hiruzen ordered. "He needs experience outside the village, and his combat abilities will be invaluable if trouble arises." Jiraiya glanced at Kakashi, who nodded slightly. They both heard the reports about Monkey King mode, about the golden tail and exponentially increased power. Taking Naruto along might actually be wise. "Fine," Jiraiya agreed. "We leave tomorrow." Naruto met Jiraiya at the village gates the next morning. Backpack ready, Yoi shrunk to earring form. "So you're the legendary Jiraiya," Naruto said, sizing up the white-haired Sannin. "One of the three. How strong are you really?" Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. "Confident, aren't you, kid?" "Not confidence, just facts. I kicked Orochimaru's ass pretty easily, so I'm wondering if you're stronger or weaker than him." "Orochimaru fled because of your strange transformation," Jiraiya corrected. "That doesn't mean you defeated him in a straight fight." Naruto's grin was sharp. "Want to test that theory? We could spar right now." "Maybe later. We have a mission to complete." They traveled in silence for the first few hours, Jiraiya occasionally glancing at Naruto with poorly concealed curiosity. The boy moved like a seasoned warrior, his situational awareness perfect, his body language that of someone constantly ready for combat. "Guy told me about your training," Jiraiya finally said. "This Ari Taekwondo style you developed. Where did it come from?" "Dunno," Naruto replied honestly. "It's always felt natural to me. The techniques, the movements, the names, they all just appear in my head when I need them, like I'm remembering something I've always known." "And the staff? Yoi?" "Same thing. It's mine. Always has been." Jiraiya frowned. This didn't match any known Kekkei Genkai or clan ability, and combined with that Monkey King transformation, During the invasion, you sprouted a tail, Jiraiya said carefully. Golden, ethereal. Your power increased dramatically. What was that? Naruto considered how much to reveal. A transformation. Monkey King mode. It multiplies my physical abilities, makes me faster, stronger, tougher. I can feel there's more beyond it. Deeper levels I haven't accessed yet. More? Jiraiya echoed weakly. Kid, you were already approaching S rank before that transformation. What the hell could be more? Guess we'll find out when I unlock it. They found Tsunade in a gambling town 3 weeks later, accompanied by her assistant Shizune and drowning in sake in debt. Tsunade Hime, Jiraiya greeted. We need to talk. Go away, Jiraiya. I'm not interested in whatever the village wants. Hiruzen is dying. He needs your medical expertise, and the village needs you to become the 5th Hokage. Tsunade's expression darkened. No, I left that life behind. People are suffering because you're too much of a coward to go back, Naruto said flatly, his patience for emotional drama extremely limited. Tsunade's killing intent exploded outward, suffocating and overwhelming. What did you say, Brad? You heard me. Naruto didn't even flinch under the pressure. You're hiding from your responsibilities because people you cared about died. Newsflash, people die in the shinobi world. Deal with it and move on. You little. Tsunade moved, her chakra-enhanced fist swinging toward Naruto's head with enough force to pulverize concrete. Naruto's leg moved to intercept. Huechuk! The collision between Tsunade's legendary strength and Naruto's Ari Taekwondo kick created a shockwave that shattered every window in the building. Both fighters were pushed back, Tsunade's eyes wide with shock. You blocked my strength, she whispered. Without chakra enhancement? Your punch was pretty good, Naruto admitted, rotating his ankle slightly. Hit harder. I want to see what you can really do. Tsunade's shock transformed into fury. This arrogant brat needed to be taught a lesson. She channeled even more chakra into her next strike, her fist glowing with concentrated power. Naruto met her head on, his kicks matching her punches, creating a battle of pure physical power that demolished the gambling hall around them. Jiraiya and Shizune scrambled to avoid the collateral damage. You're strong, Naruto laughed, clearly enjoying himself. Way stronger than most jonin? This is fun. His leg began to glow with blue energy. But can you handle this? Blue Dragon! The ascending kick erupted with massive force, the blue dragon surging upward. Tsunade barely managed to dodge, the technique passing close enough that she felt the sheer power it contained. That would have killed me, she realized with crystal clarity. If that had connected, I would be dead. The blue dragon split the sky above the town, dispersing clouds for miles. Tsunade stared at Naruto, reassessing everything. This wasn't just some talented genin. This was something else entirely. What are you? She demanded. Naruto Uzumaki, he replied, offering his hand with a grin. Future strongest fighter in the world. Now, are you coming back to help the old man, or do I need to kick you all the way to Konoha? Against her better judgment, Tsunade found herself smiling. The brat was arrogant, sure, but he had the power to back it up. And his directness was refreshing compared to Jiraiya's manipulation. Fine, she said, taking his hand. I'll come back, but if Hiruzen dies despite my treatment, I'm blaming you. Deal. Pokemon. The journey back to Konoha was interrupted by Kabuto and several sound jonin attempting to prevent Tsunade's return. The ensuing battle was brief and one-sided. Naruto handled all the sound jonin simultaneously while Tsunade and Jiraiya dealt with Kabuto. His movements were fluid and devastating, Ari Taekwondo techniques flowing into each other seamlessly. Mandou Ryochagi, Samsutekyon, Turbo Kick! Each technique incapacitated an opponent instantly. Within 3 minutes, all the sound jonin were unconscious or fleeing, and Kabuto was being overwhelmed by both Sannin. Retreat! Kabuto ordered, using medical ninjutsu to enhance his escape speed. Naruto started to pursue, but Jiraiya stopped him. Let him go. Our priority is getting Tsunade to Hiruzen. Fine, Naruto grumbled, but next time I see that guy, I'm kicking his head off. They reached Konoha in record time, Tsunade immediately taking over Hiruzen's medical treatment. Her expertise was evident as she worked, combining medical ninjutsu with surgical precision to address injuries that would have killed most people. He'll live, Tsunade announced after 6 hours of surgery. but he's retiring whether he likes it or not. His body can't handle the stress of being Hokage anymore. The village elders convened immediately, and after heated debate, Tsunade was officially named the 5th Hokage. Her first act was reviewing Naruto's file and almost having a heart attack at his mission record. He fought Zabuza at 13, Tsunade muttered, reading. Damaged Orochimaru during the invasion? Stopped a giant snake summoned single-handedly? What the hell have you people been feeding this kid? Mostly ramen, Kakashi offered helpfully. Tsunade glared at him, then continued reading. The reports about Monkey King mode made her pause. Transformation into a combat form with a golden tail, exponential power increase, godlike presence. This didn't match any known ability. She summoned Naruto to her office. Hokage-sama, Naruto greeted, unusually formal. Drop the formality. Call me Tsunade. She gestured to a chair. Sit. We need to talk about your abilities. Naruto sat, curious where this was going. Your Taekwondo, your transformations, your staff. None of it matches any known Kekkei Genkai or clan ability. Where does it come from? Honestly, I don't know, Naruto said. It feels like I'm remembering abilities I've always had, like they were locked inside me, and I'm slowly unlocking them through training and combat. The Nine Tails? No, I can feel the fox's chakra. That's completely separate from this. These abilities are mine, not the fox's. Tsunade considered this carefully. Can you show me this Monkey King mode? Naruto hesitated. I'm still learning to control it. When I first transformed during the invasion, it was pure instinct. I've been trying to access it again since then, but it requires the right mental state. Try anyway. I need to see it to properly assess you. Naruto closed his eyes, reaching for that power he touched during the invasion. It was there, waiting, recognizing his call. He pulled it forward, letting it flow through his body. Golden energy erupted around him, forming the distinctive aura. The tail emerged from his tailbone, swishing with ethereal grace. His presence transformed, becoming something beyond human, something that made Tsunade's instincts scream both danger and reverence. Incredible, Tsunade breathed, her medical expertise analyzing what she saw. Your physical capabilities in this state are easily 10 times your base form. Your chakra pathway system is completely different, enhanced, optimized. This isn't a normal transformation. This is something fundamental to your being. Naruto released the transformation, breathing slightly harder. That's as much as I can maintain right now. I feel like there's more, deeper levels, but I can't access them yet. Don't push it, Tsunade warned. Power without proper control is dangerous. Master what you have before reaching for more. That's what Guy-sensei says too. Tsunade smiled slightly. Might Guy is a good teacher, despite his eccentricities. Continue training with him. But I want you to also work with me on understanding the nature of your abilities. If we can figure out what you are, we might be able to help you unlock your full potential safely. Deal. 3 months after Tsunade became Hokage, Jiraiya returned to the village with grave news. Akatsuki, he announced at an emergency meeting. They're hunting Jinchuriki, and Naruto is one of their targets. The room fell silent. Tsunade's expression became deadly serious. Tell me everything. Jiraiya explained what his spy network had discovered. A criminal organization composed of S-rank missing nin, all wearing black cloaks with red clouds, systematically hunting the tailed beasts and their containers. Their combat ability is off the charts, Jiraiya continued. Every member we've identified is at least Jonin level. Most are well into S rank. And they work in pairs, meaning any encounter would involve fighting 2 S-rank opponents simultaneously. Let them come, Naruto said from his position by the window. I could use the challenge. Naruto, this isn't a joke, Tsunade snapped. These aren't ordinary missing nin. They're the worst of the worst, criminals who've survived everything the shinobi world could throw at them. Good, Naruto replied, grin sharp. Fighting weak opponents is boring. If these Akatsuki guys are really that strong, then they'll give me the battles I've been looking for. Kakashi spoke up. Even with your abilities, fighting 2 S-rank opponents at once is possible, Naruto interrupted. I've been training with Guy-sensei and working on new techniques. I'm way stronger than during the invasion. Besides, I still haven't shown you everything I can do. Tsunade studied Naruto carefully. The boy's confidence wasn't empty arrogance. He genuinely believed he could handle Akatsuki members. And given his track record, maybe he was right. Fine, she decided. But you don't engage them alone if they appear. If Akatsuki comes for you, you retreat and signal for backup. That's an order. Yeah. Naruto waved dismissively. The Akatsuki members assigned to capture Naruto were Itachi Uchiha and Kasame Hoshigaki, two of the organization's strongest fighters. They infiltrated Konoha during a festival, their presence masked until they deliberately revealed themselves to draw Naruto out. Naruto Uzumaki, Itachi's voice echoed through the street where Naruto was walking. Come with us peacefully, and your village won't be harmed. Naruto turned, finding two figures in black cloaks standing in the middle of the street. One had red eyes, Sharingan. The other carried a massive sword wrapped in bandages and had a shark-like appearance. Akatsuki, Naruto said, his grin spreading. Finally, I've been waiting for you guys to show up. The kid seems excited, Kasame noted, amused. This'll be fun. Don't underestimate him, Itachi warned. His abilities are unusual. Naruto summoned Yoi, the staff appearing in his hand with a flash of golden red light. Let's see if you two are worth my time. He moved first, his speed catching even Itachi off guard. Yoi extended mid-swing, the staff becoming a 100-foot pillar that swept horizontally with devastating force. Kasame blocked with Samehada, his sword absorbing some of the impact, but the sheer physical force still sent him skidding backward. Strong! Kasame laughed. I like this kid. Itachi activated his Sharingan fully, trying to track Naruto's movements. But Ari Taekwondo's efficiency and speed made prediction difficult, even with the Sharingan's copying ability. Mondo Ryo Chagi! The spinning kick generated a shockwave that forced both Akatsuki members to dodge. Naruto used the opening to plant Yoi and pole vault into an aerial position. Neryo Chagi! The axe kick descended on Itachi, who substituted at the last second. The ground where he'd stood exploded into a massive crater. Kasame swung Samehada in a wide arc, the sword's bandages unraveling to reveal its scaled shark-like surface. Water style, water shark bomb. A massive shark made of water surged toward Naruto. He met it head-on, his leg glowing blue. Blue dragon! The ascending kick created his blue dragon, which tore through Kasame's water shark like it was nothing, continuing toward the Akatsuki member with devastating force. Kasame barely dodged, his eyes wide. That technique is insane! Itachi formed hand seals rapidly. Amaterasu! Black flames erupted, converging on Naruto's position. The inextinguishable flames of the Mangekyo Sharingan, capable of burning through anything. Naruto's response was immediate. He entered Monkey King mode, golden energy exploding around him, the tail emerging. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to dodge the Amaterasu flames with millimeters to spare. What is that transformation? Itachi muttered, Sharingan spinning rapidly as it tried to analyze what it was seeing. Naruto in Monkey King mode was on a completely different level. His kicks came faster than either Akatsuki member could properly react to, creating combinations that forced them both onto the defensive simultaneously. Samsu Taekyon, 3 instantaneous kicks, each one aimed at vital points. Itachi used a crow substitution to escape. Kasame blocked with Samehada, but the impact drove him through a building. Then Naruto felt it, that presence inside him stirring again, reaching for something even beyond Monkey King mode. Another level, another transformation, responding to his combat high and his desire to completely dominate these opponents. His golden aura began to change, shifting, intensifying. His hair started to bleach white from the roots, the golden tail becoming more substantial, more real. What's happening? Itachi demanded, recognizing genuine danger. Naruto's transformation completed. His hair was now completely white, his aura blinding gold, his presence so overwhelming that nearby civilians collapsed unconscious just from proximity. Rui Mori, Naruto whispered, the name appearing in his mind. White monkey. I see. In this form, his power had increased another magnitude. Where Monkey King mode multiplied his abilities 10 times, Rui Mori multiplied them 100 times. His speed was beyond what most eyes could track, his strength enough to reshape landscapes with casual strikes. Retreat, Itachi ordered immediately, recognizing a battle they couldn't win. Now! Kasame didn't argue, the 2 Akatsuki members using every escape technique they possessed to flee. Naruto considered pursuing, but Tsunade's orders echoed in his mind. More importantly, he was already feeling the strain of maintaining Ruyi Mori. The transformation faded, and Naruto collapsed to one knee, breathing hard. Using Ruyi Mori for the first time had drained him significantly. Kakashi and Guy arrived moments later, having sensed the massive chakra signatures. "What happened?" Kakashi demanded. "Akatsuki showed up," Naruto panted. "Two of them. Strong guys. I chased them off." "You chased off Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigaki?" Guy's eyes were wide. "The same Itachi who slaughtered the entire Uchiha clan?" "Yeah, but I had to use a new transformation. Ruyi Mori. It's beyond Monkey King mode, way more powerful, but I can't maintain it for long yet." Kakashi helped Naruto stand. "We need to report this to Lady Tsunade immediately." Tsunade's reaction to the news was predictable. She ordered increased security around Naruto and demanded a full report on this new transformation. "White hair, golden aura, overwhelming presence," Tsunade read from the report. "Power increase estimated at 100 times base form." "Naruto, do you understand how insane that sounds?" "I know it felt amazing," Naruto replied, "but also exhausting. I could only maintain it for a few minutes before my body started breaking down." "That's because transformations that powerful put massive strain on your physical form," Tsunade explained. "You need to build up your stamina and durability before you can safely use Ruyi Mori in extended combat." "Then I'll train harder." "Of course you will," she sighed. "Just try not to destroy the training grounds completely. We're running out of places to put you." Time passed, and Naruto continued to grow stronger. His mastery of Ari Taekwondo deepened, his transformations became more stable, and his understanding of Yoi's capabilities expanded. By age 14, Kakashi openly admitted Naruto had surpassed him in combat ability. By 15, even Tsunade acknowledged that Naruto could potentially fight her to a standstill. By 16, he was recognized as one of Konoha's strongest assets, despite never having progressed beyond Genin rank officially. "The rank system doesn't really apply to you," Tsunade admitted during one of their meetings. "You're beyond Jonin, well into S rank, possibly beyond even that. Promoting you to Chunin would be absurd." "I don't care about rank," Naruto shrugged. "I care about finding strong opponents and getting stronger myself." Speaking of which, Jiraiya has proposed a training journey, 3 years, traveling the continent, experiencing different fighting styles, testing yourself against various opponents. Naruto's eyes lit up. "Yes, finally. When do we leave?" "Tomorrow, but Naruto." Tsunade's expression became serious. "Jiraiya will be gathering intelligence on Akatsuki during this journey. You'll likely encounter them again. Promise me you'll be careful." "I promise to kick their asses thoroughly," Naruto grinned. "That's not what Tsunade sighed. "Just come back alive, okay?" "Of course." The 3-year journey with Jiraiya was everything Naruto had hoped for and more. They traveled from village to village, Naruto fighting local champions, testing himself against different martial arts styles, integrating new concepts into his Ari Taekwondo. In Earth Country, he fought against master Earth-style practitioners who could reshape entire battlefields. Naruto learned to use Yoi to anchor himself, to maintain stability even when the ground itself became his enemy. In Lightning Country, he sparred with speed-focused fighters who moved like actual lightning. Naruto pushed his turbo kick technique to new levels, achieving speeds that made his previous fast look stationary. In Water Country, he fought amphibious specialists who combined fluidity with overwhelming power. Naruto developed new applications for his existing techniques, learning to generate maximum force with minimal telegraph. And throughout it all, Jiraiya gathered intelligence while watching his student transform from merely powerful to genuinely legendary. "You know," Jiraiya commented one evening, "I've traveled the world for decades, met countless fighters, seen every major martial arts style, but I've never encountered anything like your Ari Taekwondo." "That's because it's mine," Naruto replied simply. "It doesn't exist anywhere else." "Have you considered where it really came from? These techniques you remember, the transformations, the staff?" "Naruto, that's not normal reincarnation memory or Kekkei Genkai. That's something else entirely." Naruto had considered it many times. The feeling of remembering rather than learning, The instinctive knowledge, the transformations that felt like returning to his true self rather than changing forms. Maybe I'm someone else reborn, Naruto mused. Maybe these abilities belong to whoever I was before, but it doesn't matter. I'm Naruto Uzumaki now, and this power is mine. Jiraiya nodded slowly. Fair enough. Just be careful how much you reveal. Power like yours makes people nervous. Villages, organizations, even allies, they all start calculating whether you're more valuable as a weapon or a threat. Let them calculate, Naruto said, grin sharp. I'll just keep getting stronger until their calculations don't matter anymore. During the second year of travel, they encountered Akatsuki again. This time it was a different pair, Deidara and Sasori. The battle took place in a rocky canyon, far from any villages. Deidara's explosive clay birds filled the sky, while Sasori deployed his puppet army. Art is explosion, Deidara shouted, raining explosive clay from above. Naruto met the assault with devastating simplicity. He entered Monkey King mode immediately, golden tail swishing, power multiplying. Samsu Taekyon! 3 kicks, each one generating a shockwave that detonated Deidara's clay bombs prematurely, creating a chain reaction that cleared the entire sky. Sasori's puppets attacked from multiple angles, poison-coated blades seeking vital points. Naruto summoned Yoi, the staff extending and multiplying, creating a defensive barrier that intercepted every attack while simultaneously striking back. How is one person fighting both of us evenly? Sasori's voice emerged from his puppet body, frustrated. Evenly? Naruto laughed. I'm barely trying. Let me show you something fun. His aura intensified, white beginning to creep into his golden hair. He was accessing Ruyi Mori again, but this time with much better control than during his first transformation. Nario Chagi! The axe kick split the canyon floor, creating a fissure that extended for miles. Deidara's birds were caught in the shockwave, detonating uselessly. Sasori's puppets were shattered by the force. Both Akatsuki members made the same decision their predecessors had: retreat immediately. We're not paid enough for this, Deidara muttered, flying away at maximum speed. Jiraiya, who'd been ready to intervene, just stared as Naruto chased off 2 more S-rank criminals with casual ease. You really have become a monster, Jiraiya said, almost proud. A god, actually, Naruto corrected with a grin. Or at least that's what it feels like when I transform. The third year brought even greater challenges. Naruto faced rogue samurai in Iron Country, their sword techniques refined over centuries. He fought sage animals in their territories, creatures with power that rivaled Jonin. He even encountered and defeated a Jinchuriki from another village who'd gone berserk, subduing them without killing them. Each battle refined his skills further. Each victory unlocked new insights into his abilities. Each challenge pushed him toward greater mastery. By the time 3 years passed and they returned to Konoha, Naruto had achieved something remarkable: complete mastery of Ruyi Mori. He could enter and exit the transformation at will, maintain it for extended periods, and fight at full power without strain. More importantly, he could feel the final level waiting, the complete form that existed beyond even Ruyi Mori. The transformation that would unlock everything, that would reveal his true nature fully. But he wasn't ready for that yet. Not quite. Konoha had changed during their 3-year absence. New buildings, new Genin teams, new challenges. But some things remained the same. Tsunade was still Hokage, Guy was still training with his students, and the village still needed protecting. Naruto and Jiraiya arrived at the gates just as an emergency was unfolding. Akatsuki had sent a full team, 6 members, to finally capture the Nine Tails by overwhelming force. You've got to be kidding me, Naruto muttered, sensing the chakra signatures converging on the village. They sent 6 S-rank criminals? Did they not get the message from the last 4 who ran away? This is serious, Naruto, Jiraiya warned. 6 at once is exactly what I need to test myself, Naruto interrupted, grin spreading. Perfect timing. He took off toward the battle, Jiraiya following with growing concern. The 6 Akatsuki members had already engaged Konoha's forces. Kakashi, Guy, and several Jonin were struggling against the overwhelming power of Pain, Konan, Kasame, who'd returned, Kakuzu, Hidan, and one more figure in the background coordinating the assault. This village will fall, Pain declared, his Rinnegan eyes cold and absolute. Naruto Uzumaki will be captured. Resistance is futile. Hey! Naruto's voice cut through the battlefield. You talking about me? All 6 Akatsuki members turned, focusing on the blonde teenager walking casually toward them, hands in pockets, grin sharp and eager. Naruto Uzumaki, Pain acknowledged. You will. Come at me all at once, Naruto interrupted. I'm bored of fighting you guys 1 or 2 at a time. Let's see what 6 S-rank criminals can do working together. Arrogant brat, Hidan shouted. I'll sacrifice you two. He vanished before finishing the sentence, Naruto's kick sending him flying into the stratosphere so fast he became a shooting star. 1 down, Naruto said cheerfully. 5 to go. The remaining Akatsuki members attacked simultaneously. Kakuzu unleashed multiple elemental masks, Kisame created a massive water dome, Konan deployed thousands of paper bombs, and Pain's 6 bodies converged from different angles. Naruto summoned Yoi, the staff extending and multiplying to create a forest of golden red pillars that intercepted every attack. Then he moved, his speed beyond what most could track, engaging all 5 opponents simultaneously. Mandario Chagi! The spinning kick generated a shockwave that disrupted Kisame's water dome completely. Samsu Taekyon! 3 instantaneous kicks destroyed 3 of Kakuzu's elemental masks. Turbo kick! The enhanced speed kick shattered several of Pain's bodies before they could react, and he was just getting started. Naruto entered Monkey King mode, golden aura exploding outward, tail emerging. His power multiplied, his speed increased, his presence became overwhelming. The battle shifted immediately. Now Naruto wasn't just defending, he was dominating. Each technique flowed into the next, creating combinations that the Akatsuki members couldn't counter. Yoi extended and contracted in perfect rhythm with his kicks, creating a seamless offense that overwhelmed every defense. Impossible, Pain muttered, his Rinnegan analyzing Naruto's movements and finding them beyond comprehension. This power, what are you? Want to find out? Naruto asked, his aura beginning to shift from gold to white. I'll show you. He transformed into Reincarnation Mori, white hair blazing, golden aura blinding, presence transcending mortal limits. The watching Konoha shinobi felt something they'd never experienced before, the presence of divinity, of power so absolute that it defied normal categorization. In Reincarnation Mori form, Naruto moved like a natural disaster. His kicks reshaped the battlefield, his strikes created permanent changes to the landscape, his techniques operated on a scale that made S-rank ninjutsu look weak. Blue Dragon! The ascending kick created a dragon so large it could be seen from miles away, its blue energy tearing through Pain's strongest defenses like they were paper. Red Dragon! The descending kick carved a new canyon through Konoha's outskirts, forcing the Akatsuki to scatter or be obliterated. Kakuzu's remaining masks were destroyed in seconds. Konan's paper techniques were scattered by shockwaves. Kisame's Samahata couldn't absorb the sheer physical force behind Naruto's attacks. Pain's bodies were being systematically destroyed faster than he could regenerate them. The 6th Akatsuki member, watching from the background, made a decision. Retreat. All units, retreat immediately. The command came from a figure wearing a spiral mask, someone who radiated danger even to Naruto's senses. Not so fast, Naruto said, appearing in front of the masked figure with impossible speed. You're the leader, right? Let's fight! The masked figure, Obito, though Naruto didn't know this yet, raised a hand. Another time, Naruto Uzumaki. You've proven your point. We'll need to adjust our approach. He activated Kamui, reality warping around him and the other Akatsuki members, pulling them into another dimension before Naruto could stop them. When the battlefield cleared, Naruto stood in the center of massive destruction, still in Reincarnation Mori form, breathing heavily but grinning with satisfaction. That was fun, he declared. They're definitely getting stronger. Next time should be even better. Tsunade arrived, staring at the devastation, the canyon carved through the village outskirts, the shattered buildings, the reformed landscape, all from a single person's battle against 6 S-rank opponents. Naruto, she said carefully, we need to talk about your power level. Seriously. The meeting in Tsunade's office included the village elders, Jiraiya, Kakashi, and Guy. Naruto defeated 6 Akatsuki members simultaneously, Tsunade stated. Not just survived, he dominated them so thoroughly they were forced to retreat. This changes everything. The boy has become too powerful, one elder muttered. We must consider. If you're about to suggest controlling or limiting him, don't. Jiraiya interrupted sharply. Naruto is the only reason Konoha wasn't destroyed today. His power is what saved the village. But that same power could destroy us if he turns against. He won't, Guy stated firmly. Naruto is my student, and I know his character. His power serves his will, and his will is to protect those he cares about. The debate continued, but Naruto himself wasn't present to hear it. He was on the Hokage monument, staring at the village below, feeling the presence inside him stirring again. The final level was close, the complete transformation that would reveal everything. He could feel it waiting, recognizing that he was almost ready. Just a little more, Naruto thought. Just a bit stronger, and I'll understand everything. The final battle came 3 months later. Akatsuki launched their ultimate assault, every remaining member converging on Konoha with one goal: capture or kill Naruto Uzumaki at any cost. The masked leader revealed himself as Obito Uchiha, wielding the Rinnegan and controlling the Ten Tails power. His abilities were beyond anything previously encountered: reality warping, dimensional manipulation, and raw power that dwarfed normal S-rank threats. Konoha's forces engaged the other Akatsuki members while Naruto faced Obito directly. "You cannot defeat me," Obito declared, his kamui making him intangible. "I've transcended mortality. I've achieved godlike power." "Godlike?" Naruto repeated, entering Ruyi Mori immediately. "Let me show you what an actual god looks like." They clashed, Naruto's devastating kicks meeting Obito's reality-warping techniques. The battle reshaped entire sections of the village, each exchange powerful enough to kill lesser shinobi from the shockwaves alone. But even Ruyi Mori wasn't enough. Obito's abilities allowed him to phase through attacks, to warp space itself, to manipulate reality in ways that pure physical force couldn't counter. Naruto was being pushed back for the first time in years. "Accept it," Obito taunted. "Your power, impressive as it is, cannot overcome mine." Naruto grinned, bloodied but undeterred. "You know what? You're right. Ruyi Mori isn't enough." He closed his eyes, reaching deeper than he ever had before, touching that sleeping presence at his core. The final level, the complete form, the truth of what he really was. "So I'll stop holding back." Golden energy exploded outward, but this time it was different. More intense, more pure, more absolute. Naruto's transformation began, surpassing even Ruyi Mori, revealing the final truth. His hair remained white, but now it moved like flame, crackling with divine energy. His tail multiplied, not one but 9 tails emerging, each one representing a facet of his true power. His body radiated power, so intense that reality itself bent around him, space warping from his mere presence. But most striking were his eyes. They transformed, becoming golden with a depth that suggested infinite power and ancient wisdom. "Complete Monkey King form," Naruto declared, his voice carrying harmonics that resonated with divine authority. "This is what I really am, the reincarnation of the Monkey King himself, Jin Mori, the god of high school." Obito's confidence wavered for the first time. "Impossible. That's just a legend, a myth from nowhere," Naruto interrupted. "Because in this world, Jin Mori never existed. His stories, his battles, his legend, none of it happened here. But his power, his abilities, his very essence?" Naruto's grin was savage. "That's all inside me, waiting to be remembered." He moved, and the speed defied comprehension. Even Kamui couldn't track the attack, Naruto's kick connecting before Obito could phase. The impact was cataclysmic. Obito was launched backward with such force that he carved a trench through 3 mountains before finally stopping. His Rinnegan struggled to process what had just happened. Naruto appeared above him, 9 divine tails swaying, eyes burning with golden power. "I remember now," Naruto said quietly. "Every technique, every battle, every moment of power. I remember being Jin Mori, remember being the Monkey King, remember achieving godhood through combat." He raised his leg, divine energy condensing around his foot in ways that made his previous techniques look weak. "This is my ultimate technique, the one I could only use in this form, the kick that embodies my very existence." The energy intensified, becoming almost impossible to look at directly. "Morijin Original, Octo Kick." 8 instantaneous kicks, each one carrying power that could shatter worlds, each one aimed at Obito from a different angle simultaneously. The technique was beyond anything possible in normal reality. A divine attack that existed outside normal concepts of time and space. Obito tried to use Kamui, tried to phase, tried to escape, but Octo Kick existed across multiple dimensions simultaneously, striking him in every reality at once. The explosion of divine power could be seen from every corner of the elemental nations. The shockwave flattened everything within miles. When the dust settled, Obito lay unconscious, his Rinnegan deactivated, his godlike power completely overwhelmed. Naruto descended slowly, the complete Monkey King form still active, 9 tails swaying gracefully. He looked at his hands, feeling the complete integration of Jin Mori's power with his Naruto Uzumaki identity. I understand now, he said to himself. I'm both. Naruto Uzumaki and Jin Mori reborn. My martial arts aren't just techniques I remembered. They're my legacy, my truth, my very essence. The transformation faded, the 9 tails disappearing, his appearance returning to normal. But something fundamental had changed. Naruto now knew exactly what he was, exactly what power he possessed, and exactly what it meant. He was a god walking among mortals, disguised as a shinobi. Tsunade found him standing over Obito's unconscious form, other Akatsuki members already retreating now that their leader was defeated. Naruto, she said carefully, what was that final form? The truth, Naruto replied simply. I'm the reincarnation of Jin Mori, the Monkey King. All this time, I've been unlocking the abilities of my past life. Renewal Taekwondo, Yoi, the transformations, they were never techniques I learned. They were memories of what I already knew. Jin Mori doesn't exist in our history, Tsunade pointed out. I know, which means I'm from somewhere else entirely. Another world, another reality, reborn here with all my power intact but dormant. Naruto turned to face her, his expression serious for once. But I'm still Naruto Uzumaki. This power is mine, and I'll use it to protect Konoha, to protect the people I care about. Tsunade studied him for a long moment, then smiled slightly. You've always been extraordinary, Naruto. Now we just know why. 3 days later, Naruto stood before the village at a special gathering. Word had spread about his complete transformation, about the 9 divine tails, about the overwhelming power he displayed. I know you have questions, Naruto addressed the crowd, about what I am, where my power comes from, whether I'm a threat. So here's the truth. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Jinchi of the 9 Tails, student of Might Guy, master of Renewal Taekwondo. But I'm also the reincarnation of something called the Monkey King, a being from another world, another reality, who achieved godhood through combat. The crowd murmured, uncertain how to process this information. I didn't choose this power, Naruto continued. It chose me, or maybe I chose it in a life I can't fully remember. But it doesn't matter. What matters is this. I'm still the same person who grew up in this village, who trained in these streets, who fought to protect this place. My power serves my will, and my will is to become the strongest fighter in existence while protecting the people I care about. He paused, letting that sink in. So yeah, I'm basically a god reborn as a ninja. Deal with it. The response was mixed. Some afraid, some awed, some excited. But one thing was certain. Konoha now possessed the strongest individual fighter in the known world. A living god who just happened to really like ramen and fighting strong opponents. A living god. Naruto's revelation changed the political landscape of the shinobi world. Daft villages reassessed their alliances. Akatsuki abandoned their plans for the 9 Tails, recognizing it as suicide, and a new era began. One where the strongest fighter wasn't a tailed beast or a legendary ninja, but a 17-year-old who remembered being a god. Training with Guy continued, now with both of them pushing beyond normal human limits into the realm of divine martial arts. Naruto worked to perfect his complete Monkey King form, to master techniques he was only beginning to remember, to explore the full depth of his inherited power. Yoi became an extension of himself in ways he'd never imagined, the staff responding to his will like a living companion. His Renewal Taekwondo reached levels of perfection that made other martial arts look primitive by comparison. And through it all, Naruto remained fundamentally himself. Cocky, battle-hungry, always grinning, always pushing forward, always seeking the next challenge. Hey, Guy-sensei, Naruto called out during one training session. Think anyone out there can actually give me a real fight anymore? Guy considered this seriously. Perhaps in other dimensions, other realities. The multiverse is vast, And surely gods exist in other worlds as well. Then maybe that's where I'll go next, Naruto mused. After I've mastered everything here, I'll find a way to other worlds, fight their strongest fighters, test myself against different types of gods. The eternal youth of combat, Guy approved enthusiastically. Your spirit burns brighter than ever. Naruto grinned. That was the future he wanted. Not peace, not quiet retirement, but endless combat, constant growth, the thrill of fighting opponents who could actually challenge him. Because at his core, whether as Naruto Uzumaki or Jin Mori reborn, he lived for one thing above all else, the fight. And there would always be another fight waiting. The village reconstruction took 3 weeks. Every day, Naruto stood on the Hokage monument, watching workers repair the canyon his red dragon had carved through Konoha's outskirts. The memory of complete Monkey King form still tingled in his muscles. 9 divine tails, white hair crackling with power, eyes burning gold with ancient authority. He'd remembered everything in that moment. Not just techniques or abilities, but the essence of who he'd been. Jin Mori, the Monkey King, the god of high school, a being from another reality entirely, reborn in this world with all his power dormant, waiting to be unlocked through combat and growth. Still brooding? Guy's voice called from below. That's not very youthful. Naruto grinned, dropping down to land beside his teacher. Not brooding, planning. Planning what? My next move. I've mastered the basics, unlocked my transformations, proven I can handle S-rank threats. But that final form, complete Monkey King mode, showed me there's still more. Techniques I haven't perfected, abilities I've barely touched, power I haven't fully accessed. Guy studied his student carefully. 3 years of training had already transformed Naruto from talented genin to godlike warrior. Now, at 17, having fully awakened his past life's power, the young man stood at a threshold few could comprehend. What techniques are you thinking of? Guy asked. Ho-chuk, the ultimate renewal taekwondo kick. I remember it now, but I haven't executed it yet. And the combination techniques, quad kick, octo kick. I've used triple kick instinctively, but the higher level versions require perfect mastery. Naruto's eyes gleamed with anticipation. And then there's the 250,000 X kick, a technique so fast, so devastating that it exists beyond normal time. Can your body handle that level of strain? In complete Monkey King form? Maybe, in something beyond that? Naruto's grin widened. Definitely, I can feel another level waiting, Guy-sensei, something past even the 9-tailed form, but I'm not ready yet. Tsunade's summons interrupted their conversation. The Hokage's office had been rebuilt quickly, administrative necessity, and she sat behind her desk with an expression that meant serious business. We have a problem, Tsunade stated without preamble. Multiple problems, actually. Kakashi stood to the side, and beside him was a figure Naruto hadn't seen in years. Jiraiya's intelligence contact, a woman who specialized in monitoring threats beyond the 5 great nations. Speak, Naruto said simply, dropping into a chair. The ninja world has noticed you, the woman began. Your battle with Akatsuki, your transformation, the sheer scale of power you displayed, every major village knows now, and they're terrified. Good, Naruto replied. Fear keeps people from doing stupid things. Not always, Tsunade interjected. Fear also makes people desperate. We've intercepted communications suggesting that several minor villages are forming an alliance specifically to counter you. They're calling it the Coalition of Balance. Naruto laughed, genuinely amused. They think they can balance me? How many villages? 17 at last count. They're pooling resources, training specialized anti-divine combat units, researching countermeasures to your abilities. Let them, Naruto said dismissively. I could handle 17 villages before my second transformation. Now, it wouldn't even be a workout. That's not the main concern, the intelligence specialist continued. There's something else. Reports from our deep cover agents suggest a new organization has formed. Not like Akatsuki, this group isn't after tailed beasts. They're hunting something called dimensional anomalies. Naruto's attention sharpened. Explain. We don't have much. They call themselves the Void Walkers. Their leader claims to come from another reality, and they're searching for beings who don't belong in this world. Beings whose existence creates ripples in reality itself. The implications hit immediately. Naruto was exactly that, a soul from another reality, reborn here with power that didn't originate in this universe. His complete Monkey King form had probably lit up like a beacon to anyone capable of detecting such anomalies. How strong are they? Naruto asked. Unknown, but if they're hunting dimensional anomalies and they know about you. Tsunade trailed off meaningfully. Then they're probably strong enough to be interesting. Naruto stood, stretching. Finally, real opponents who might actually force me to use my serious techniques. Naruto, this isn't a game, Kakashi warned. If they're from another reality, they might have abilities we can't predict or counter. Good, Naruto repeated, his grin sharp and eager. I've been getting bored fighting people from this world. Maybe someone from outside it will actually make me work for it. Tsunade sighed, recognizing that look. Naruto lived for combat, for the thrill of facing powerful opponents. Trying to make him cautious was like trying to make water flow upward. Fine, she relented, but you will report any encounters immediately. And Naruto, don't underestimate them just because you've achieved godlike power. Divinity comes in many forms. I know, Naruto said, heading for the door. That's what makes it exciting. The coalition of balance made their move 2 weeks later, and they did it with surprising intelligence. Rather than attack Konoha directly, suicidal against Naruto, they targeted the village's supply lines and outlying settlements simultaneously. 17 villages coordinating meant 17 fronts, spreading Konoha's forces thin. Tsunade was forced to deploy Jonin teams across the Land of Fire, leaving the village itself defended but unable to project power everywhere at once. Which was exactly what they wanted. Naruto stood in Tsunade's office as reports flooded in. They're trying to force you to choose between protecting civilians and maintaining the village's defense. And they're banking on you staying in Konoha, Tsunade agreed grimly. If you leave to help the settlements, they've prepared something to strike the village itself. Then I'll handle both, Naruto said simply. You can't be in multiple places at... Naruto summoned Yoi, the staff materializing with its familiar golden red glow. He channeled chakra through it and the staff began to multiply. Not just duplicate, truly multiply, each copy maintaining a connection to the original. Yoi, infinite expansion. Dozens of staffs appeared, floating around Naruto, each one pulsed with his energy, an extension of his will. I've been practicing, Naruto explained. Yoi can create autonomous copies that fight independently. I can't be everywhere at once, but my staff can. Each copy will protect a settlement while I handle whatever they're planning for Konoha. Tsunade stared at the floating arsenal. When did you learn to do that? Last week. I was bored. Naruto grinned. Now, let's send these coalition idiots a message about trying to balance a god. The staff shot out in different directions, moving at supersonic speeds toward each threatened settlement. Naruto's sensory ability, enhanced by his divine nature, allowed him to perceive through each staff simultaneously, experiencing 17 battles at once without strain. At Settlement 12, coalition forces found themselves facing a golden red staff that extended and contracted with impossible speed, sweeping through their ranks like a sentient weapon. At Settlement 5, another Yoi multiplied into dozens more, creating a defensive barrier that nothing could penetrate. Meanwhile, Naruto waited in Konoha, sensing the real attack approaching. It came at midnight. The sky split open, not naturally, but through some kind of spatial technique, and figures began emerging. Not ordinary shinobi. These wore armor that seemed to absorb light, carrying weapons that hummed with unfamiliar energy. Dimensional technology, Kakashi breathed, recognizing the signatures. They've somehow accessed technology from another reality. Naruto counted them quickly. 50 soldiers, each one radiating power equivalent to a Jonin, their equipment enhancing their capabilities beyond normal limits. Leading them was a man whose armor glowed with purple energy, his presence suggesting low S-rank power. Naruto Uzumaki, the leader announced. We are the vanguard of the coalition. We've come prepared specifically for you. Surrender, and we'll. Wetchuk! Naruto's roundhouse kick struck so fast the man didn't finish his sentence. The leader was launched backward through 3 buildings, at his supposedly advanced armor cracking from the impact. Next time, skip the speech, Naruto suggested cheerfully. Now, let's see what this dimensional technology can do. The vanguard attacked as one, their coordination perfect. Energy weapons fired beams of concentrated power, spatial distortions tried to trap Naruto in dimensional pockets, and several soldiers transformed, biological enhancement through technology, into hulking warriors with triple normal strength. Naruto didn't even enter Monkey King mode. Mandorio Chagi! The spinning kick generated a 360-degree shockwave that scattered the entire formation. Before they could recover, Naruto was already moving through them, his base speed alone exceeding what their enhanced perception could track. Nario Chagi, Yoke Chagi, Dwit Chagi. Each kick incapacitated a soldier instantly. Their dimensional armor meant nothing against pure physical force applied with divine technique. Within 30 seconds, 20 of the 50 were unconscious. The leader struggled to his feet, his armor's self-repair function working overtime. Impossible. Our analysis said you'd need your transformations against our technology. Your analysis was wrong, Naruto replied. This? He gestured at the devastation. This is me being casual. Want to see me get a little serious? He entered Monkey King mode, golden aura exploding outward, tail emerging with ethereal grace. The remaining vanguard soldiers actually took a step back, their equipment registering power levels that exceeded their instrument's measurement capacity. Sam Sutekyon! 3 instantaneous kicks, each one striking a different target with precision that made their defensive systems useless. 3 more soldiers dropped. Naruto planted Yoi, the staff extending to become a 100-foot pillar. He used it to launch himself into the air, ascending above the battlefield. Blue Dragon! The ascending kick created his signature blue energy dragon, but this time, with his improved mastery, the technique split into multiple dragons, 7 of them, each one targeting a cluster of enemies. The coalition's dimensional technology couldn't handle it. Soldiers were struck, their armor shattered, their enhanced bodies overwhelmed by divine energy. When the dragons dissipated, only the leader remained standing, and even he was on his knees. Naruto descended, landing gracefully, Monkey King mode still active. You came prepared for me? This is me holding back. This is me not using any of my serious techniques. This is me not even approaching my real power. The leader coughed blood. What are you? The wrong target, Naruto replied simply. Now go back to your coalition and tell them this. I'm done being patient. They have 1 week to dissolve their alliance and go home. After that, I'm coming for them. All of them. And I won't be holding back. He released Monkey King mode, the transformation fading. Also tell them their dimensional technology is cute, but it won't save them from someone who's transcended dimensions entirely. The vanguard leader fled using a spatial escape device, leaving his defeated soldiers behind. Konoha's forces secured them quickly, and Tsunade's interrogation teams began extracting information. Naruto's Yoi copies returned from the settlements, each one having successfully repelled the coalition forces without a single civilian casualty. The staffs merged back into the original, which Naruto shrank to earring form. That was disappointing, he told God the next morning. They hyped up their dimensional technology and special anti-god weapons, and I didn't even need to use Ruyi Mori. Perhaps that's the message they needed, Guy suggested. Sometimes the greatest victory is one so overwhelming that future conflicts become impossible. Maybe, Naruto agreed, but I was hoping for a real fight. He didn't have to wait long. 3 days after the coalition's failed attack, reality itself fractured above Konoha. It wasn't a spatial technique or dimensional jutsu. This was something fundamental, a tear in the fabric of existence, revealing absolute darkness beyond. From that darkness, figures emerged. They wore robes that seemed to be woven from starlight and shadow, their faces hidden behind masks that showed different phases of the moon. 5 of them descended, their presence making the air itself feel wrong, like reality was struggling to accommodate their existence. Naruto sensed them immediately, recognizing a fundamental difference from normal threats. These beings weren't from this world. They weren't even from his original world. They were something else entirely. He met them on the Hokage monument, standing casually as they touched down. Naruto Uzumaki, the central figure, spoke, voice echoing with harmonics that suggested multiple realities speaking simultaneously. Dimensional anomaly classification, divine. Origin, external reality Sigma 7, designation Jin Mori, the Monkey King. Naruto's eyes narrowed. They knew. Actually knew, not just suspected. The Void Walkers, I presume? Correct. We are hunters of anomalies, beings who exist outside their proper reality, creating instability in the multiverse through their very presence. And you want to remove me? Naruto's grin was sharp. Good luck with that. We do not wish to remove you, the leader corrected. We wish to contain you. Your power, while impressive within your original reality, creates dangerous ripples when manifested elsewhere. You are, I'm dangerous, unstable, shouldn't exist here, blah blah. Naruto waved dismissively. I've heard it before. Here's my counteroffer. Leave now and I won't kick you back through your dimensional tier. You misunderstand the situation. The Void Walker raised a hand, and reality itself rippled. We are not from a single reality. We exist across all of them simultaneously. Your power, divine as it may be, operates within the laws of your origin reality. We operate outside all laws. They attacked. It wasn't like any combat Naruto had experienced. The Void Walkers moved through reality like it was water, appearing and disappearing, striking from angles that shouldn't exist. Their attacks phased through normal defenses, targeting existence itself. Naruto dodged the first wave, his enhanced perception allowing him to track movements across multiple dimensional layers. Interesting. You're actually fast. He entered Monkey King mode immediately, recognizing opponents who warranted respect. His golden aura flared, tail swishing, power multiplying tenfold. Wetchuk! The roundhouse kick connected with one Void Walker, and for a moment, Naruto felt resistance, actual resistance, before the impact sent them flying. They phased mid-flight, disappearing and reappearing behind him. Impressive, the Void Walker acknowledged. Your physical force can affect us even when we're partially phased. But can you handle this? Reality fractured around Naruto, creating a pocket dimension where the normal laws of physics didn't apply. Up became down, left became inside out, time flowed backward and forward simultaneously. Most beings would have been disoriented instantly. Naruto just grinned wider. Recoilless technique. His movements became perfectly efficient, eliminating all wasted motion. In a dimension where physics were scrambled, technique mattered more than raw power. Each strike flowed into the next with absolute precision, creating combinations that worked regardless of spatial orientation. The Void Walkers adapted quickly, 5 of them coordinating attacks from different dimensional angles. Energy that existed outside normal reality, weapons forged from crystallized nothingness, techniques that targeted the soul rather than the body. Naruto matched them blow for blow, his renewal taekwondo proving effective even against opponents who existed outside normal reality's rules. Mondoryo Chagi, Samsu Taekyon, Turbo Kick! Each technique forced the Void Walkers to actually defend, their absolute confidence cracking as they realized this anomaly could fight them effectively. You're stronger than expected, the leader admitted, but we have not shown our full power either. The 5 Void Walkers merged, their individual forms combining into a single entity that radiated power on a scale that made S-rank threats look weak. The merged being existed across multiple realities simultaneously, its every movement causing ripples through dimensional barriers. This is our true form, the merged entity declared, the Void Walker Gestalt. Against this, your divine power is... Still not enough to make me use Jin Mori, Naruto interrupted. But you're getting closer. Let me show you something. He summoned Yoi, the staff appearing with its golden red glow. But this time, he didn't just extend it. He channeled his divine energy directly into the weapon, and Yoi responded by transforming, growing not just in size but in complexity, becoming something that existed across the same multiple dimensions as the Gestalt. Yoi Wechuk! The combination technique, staff and kick perfectly synchronized, struck the Gestalt with force that transcended single reality physics. The impact created a shockwave across multiple dimensional layers simultaneously. The Gestalt actually staggered, their merged form flickering. You can affect us across dimensions, they realized. Your weapon, it's not from this reality either. Yoi is mine, Naruto confirmed. Has been since before I was reborn here. It exists where I exist, fights how I fight, and right now? His grin became savage. It's telling me you're about to experience what it means to fight the Monkey King seriously. He planted Yoi, which extended to pierce through multiple dimensional layers, creating a pillar that existed everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Using it as an anchor point, Naruto launched into an aerial assault that defied normal spatial logic. Naryo-chagi! The axe kick descended from 7 different angles at once, each one targeting the Gestalt's presence in a different reality layer. The merged entity tried to phase to escape, but Yui had already locked down the dimensional space. The impact was catastrophic. The Gestalt split back into 5 individual Void Walkers, all of them damaged, their starlight robes cracked in bleeding darkness. Impossible, one whispered. We are the hunters of anomalies. We exist to contain beings like you. Then you should have brought more than 5, Naruto replied, because I haven't even used my second transformation yet. The Void Walkers exchanged glances, communicating across dimensions. Finally, the leader spoke. We acknowledge your strength. But this is not over, Naruto Uzumaki. We will return, and next time, we will bring our full organization. The Void Walker Council itself will judge whether you are a stable anomaly or one that must be forcibly relocated. Looking forward to it, Naruto said honestly. You're the first opponents in months who actually made me work for it. Next time, bring your best. I want to see what a full council can do against someone who's transcended his origin reality. The Void Walkers retreated through their dimensional tier, which sealed behind them. Naruto released Monkey King mode, feeling the satisfying ache of muscles that had actually been tested. Tsunade appeared moments later, having watched the battle from a safe distance. What the hell were those things? Dimensional cops, Naruto explained casually. They hunt beings who exist outside their proper reality. Since I'm Jin Mori reborn in this world instead of my original one, I apparently set off their alarms. And they'll be back? Yeah, with more numbers. But that's fine. Naruto's grin was anticipatory. It's been too long since I fought opponents who could actually force me to try. The coalition was disappointing, Akatsuki ran away, but these Void Walkers? He stretched, working out the pleasant soreness. They might actually make me unlock the next level. Next level? Tsunade's voice was cautious. You have something beyond complete Monkey King form? Not yet, Naruto admitted. But I can feel it waiting. Something past even the 9-tailed transformation. I just need the right battle to force it out. Tsunade pinched the bridge of her nose. You're going to destroy the entire continent during one of these fights, aren't you? Probably, Naruto agreed cheerfully. But hey, at least it'll be exciting. The coalition of balance dissolved within a week, exactly as Naruto had demanded. News of the Vanguard's complete defeat, dimensional technology and all, spread rapidly through the ninja world, coupled with reports of Naruto fighting beings from outside reality itself and forcing them to retreat. The coalition's leadership decided that balancing such a threat was suicidal. Naruto paid little attention to their surrender. His focus was elsewhere, on mastering the techniques he'd remembered but not yet perfected. Guy found him in Training Ground 44 3 days after the Void Walker's departure. The area had been expanded significantly after Naruto's previous training sessions destroyed the original boundaries. Now it was less a training ground and more a dedicated arena for containing god-level martial arts practice. Naruto! Guy called out. I brought lunch! Naruto was suspended in midair, supported only by Yoi, which had extended into a complex 3-dimensional matrix of staff segments. He was practicing a technique that required perfect spatial awareness, striking from multiple angles simultaneously while maintaining balance across 7 different axis points. Thanks, Guy-sensei! Naruto descended, the Yoi matrix collapsing back into his hand. I was just working on Hochuk. The ultimate renewal taekwondo kick? Guy's eyes gleamed with interest. Have you successfully executed it? Not yet, Naruto admitted, accepting the lunchbox. I can feel the technique, remember how it should work, but my current body can't quite handle the strain. Even in Monkey King mode, there's a limit to how fast I can move before physics starts breaking down. What about Ruyi Mori? That form could probably handle it, but I'm trying to master Hochuk without relying on transformations. The whole point of the technique is perfect efficiency, maximum impact with minimal energy expenditure. Using Ruyi Mori feels like cheating. Guy nodded approvingly. The springtime of youth blooms brightest when we challenge ourselves beyond comfort. What is your current barrier? Naruto demonstrated, dropping into stance. The technique requires 3 things happening simultaneously. perfect rotational velocity, absolute targeting precision, and dimensional anchoring to prevent reality from rejecting the attack. I've got the first two down, but the dimensional anchoring. He attempted the kick, and reality itself seemed to skip a frame, refusing to accommodate the movement. See? The universe won't let me complete it. Because you're trying to execute a technique from your original reality using this reality's physics, Guy realized. You need to bridge the gap. Exactly. In my past life as Jin Mori, Hochuk worked because that reality's laws accommodated it. Here, I'm trying to force a technique that shouldn't exist. I need to either modify the technique for this reality's physics, or... Naruto's eyes gleamed. I need to impose my original reality's physics on this one temporarily. How would you do that? By acknowledging what I really am. Naruto stood, his expression becoming serious. Every time I transform, I'm not just powering up. I'm temporarily overriding this reality's rules with the ones from my origin. Monkey King mode imposes divine martial arts physics. Ruyi Mori goes further, implementing god-tier combat logic. Complete Monkey King form essentially declares, I am Jin Mori, and reality operates on my terms. So to execute Hochuk without transformation, I need to convince this reality that I'm allowed to break its rules, even in base form, which means fully accepting my nature as a being who exists across multiple realities. Naruto grinned. Want to watch me try something crazy? Always. Naruto centered himself, closing his eyes and reaching deep, not into his transformations, but into the fundamental truth of his existence. He was Naruto Uzumaki, born in this world. But he was also Jin Mori, the Monkey King, whose soul had transcended death and rebirth across dimensional barriers. He existed in both states simultaneously, always had. His eyes opened, and for a moment they flickered, blue, then gold, then blue again, oscillating between realities. Hochuk, the kick executed perfectly. Naruto's leg moved with speed that exceeded comprehension, rotation so precise it created a visible distortion in space. But more importantly, reality accommodated the technique this time, recognizing the authority behind it. The impact, despite striking only air, created a shockwave that carved a perfectly circular crater 50 feet wide and 30 feet deep. The technique's efficiency was absolute. All force transferred to the target, zero wasted energy, maximum devastation. Naruto landed, stumbling slightly, breathing hard. Did it! Finally mastered Hochuk in base form. Guy was openly crying tears of joy. Magnificent! The ultimate technique achieved through pure youthful determination. Now I just need to do the same with quad kick and octo kick, Naruto said, recovering his breath. Those require even more precise control since they're hitting multiple targets simultaneously across different spatial coordinates. You'll master them, Guy assured him. You always do. Now eat your lunch before it gets cold. They ate together, watching clouds drift across the sky. Naruto felt satisfied, not just from food, but from progress. Each technique mastered brought him closer to his full potential, to truly embodying both Naruto Uzumaki and Jin Mori completely. Guy-sensei, Naruto said eventually, thanks for training me all these years, for believing I could master these techniques even when they seemed impossible. It is I who should thank you, Guy replied warmly. Teaching you has been the greatest honor of my life. Watching you grow from talented genin to divine warrior, seeing you unlock techniques that transcend normal martial arts. Naruto, you are the proof that hard work and dedication can reach even godhood. Well, technically I was a god before and just had to remember it, Naruto pointed out with a grin. Details. Guy waved dismissively. The point remains, you worked for every technique, earned every transformation, fought for every victory. Past life or not, the Naruto Uzumaki who stands before me achieved everything through effort. Naruto's grin softened. Yeah, I guess I did. A presence interrupted the moment, Kakashi appearing with his usual casual demeanor. Am I interrupting? Only if you brought more food, Naruto replied. Better. I brought information. Kakashi's expression became serious. The Void Walkers left something behind when they retreated. A message encoded in dimensional frequency that our Seal Masters finally deciphered. What does it say? Trial by combat, 14 days from initial contact. The Void Walker Council challenges the anomaly Naruto Uzumaki to prove his stability through martial demonstration. Location, the nexus between. Failure to appear will result in forced extraction. Naruto stood immediately, excitement radiating from him. They're giving me a formal challenge? Apparently, the Seal Masters believe the nexus between is a space that exists outside normal reality, neutral ground where beings from different dimensions can interact without destabilizing their home realities. And they want me to fight. What exactly? The message wasn't specific, but given that it's the full council, you should expect multiple opponents. Possibly dozens. Perfect. Naruto's grin was savage. I've been needing an excuse to really cut loose. Fighting 5 Voidwalkers was fun, but an entire council? That might finally force me to use everything I've got. Naruto, this could be a trap, Tsunade warned, having arrived with Kakashi. They might be trying to lure you somewhere they can neutralize your power. Then they'll fail. Naruto said simply, I'm a god reborn, the Monkey King walking among ninjas. Whatever they throw at me, I'll kick it into paste. Besides, he looked at his hands, feeling the newly mastered Hochuk technique thrumming through his muscles. I want to see how far I can go. Want to test myself against opponents who exist outside normal reality's limits. Then you'll need preparation, Tsunade decided. You have 14 days. Use them wisely. Naruto spent the next 2 weeks in intensive training that pushed even his divine capabilities to their limits. He mastered Quad Kick on day 3, 4 simultaneous strikes across different spatial coordinates, each one carrying full power. Octo Kick took until day 9, the 8-directional assault requiring perfect dimensional awareness to execute properly. The advanced Yoi techniques came more naturally. He practiced extending the staff across dimensional barriers, making it exist in multiple realities simultaneously. He learned to create Yoi clones that fought with independent intelligence, essentially giving himself dozens of extra combatants. But the technique he focused on most intensely was the one he knew would be necessary if the council brought their absolute best. The 250,000 at kick. It wasn't a single kick. It was 250,000 kicks executed so rapidly, they occurred within a fraction of a second, each one targeting different points on the opponent's body simultaneously. The technique existed beyond normal time, requiring the user to essentially step outside temporal flow to execute it. Naruto couldn't do it yet. Even in complete Monkey King form, his fastest execution reached only 50,000x before his body started breaking down from the strain. You need the final transformation, Guy observed on day 13, the one beyond complete Monkey King form. Mori Jin mode, Naruto confirmed. Jin Mori at his absolute peak, the true god of high school. But I can't access it yet. Something's missing. What? Naruto considered carefully. Complete Monkey King form embodies Jin Mori's divine nature, the 9 tails, the crown, the overwhelming presence. But Mori Jin mode represents something beyond divinity. It's the perfect fusion of god and human, martial artist and warrior, power and technique. To access it, I need to fully reconcile being both Naruto Uzumaki and Jin Mori simultaneously. But you already accepted both identities when you mastered Hochuk. Accepted, yes. But I'm still treating them as separate, switching between Naruto's base form and Jin Mori's transformations. Mori Jin mode requires them to be one. No separation, no transformation, just complete integration. Guy placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Then perhaps tomorrow's battle will force that final step. Great power often emerges when we face challenges that demand everything we are. Yeah, Naruto agreed, feeling anticipation build. Tomorrow, the Void Walker Council. Tomorrow, I find out if I'm ready for the final level. Tomorrow, he would prove whether a god reborn could transcend even his original divine nature. The dimensional tear appeared exactly at noon, 14 days after the initial Voidwalker contact. It manifested in the sky above Konoha, not as a wound in reality, but as a doorway, perfectly formed and stable. Naruto stood ready, dressed in his standard outfit but carrying Yoi in full staff form rather than earring size. Tsunade, Guy, Kakashi, and most of Konoha's Jonin had gathered to witness his departure. Any last advice? Naruto asked Guy. Trust in your youthful spirit, Guy declared. And remember, true strength comes not from power alone, but from the bonds we forge and the will that drives us. Right, Naruto grinned. Though mostly I'm just planning to kick everyone really hard. That works too. Naruto approached the dimensional door, pausing at the threshold. Through it, he could see the nexus between, a space that existed outside normal reality, appearing as an infinite arena under a sky filled with stars from countless different universes. "See you soon," he told his friends. Then he stepped through. The transition was seamless. One moment Konoha, the next the Nexus. Naruto's senses immediately registered the fundamental difference. This space operated on universal constants that applied across all realities. No home field advantage, no reality-specific physics. Pure, neutral ground. Perfect for a fair fight. The Void Walker Council awaited him. They weren't 5 this time. They were 33, arranged in concentric circles around a central platform. Each wore robes woven from starlight, masks showing different celestial phases, presence radiating power that made S-rank threats look like academy students. The central figure, the council leader Naruto presumed, stepped forward. Their masks showed a full moon, and their voice carried the weight of eons. Naruto Uzumaki, Jin Mori, Monkey King. Dimensional anomaly. You stand before the Void Walker Council to face trial by combat. Do you understand the terms? Hit me with them, Naruto replied casually. You will face the council in combat. If you demonstrate sufficient control, power, and stability, we will classify you as a stable anomaly, permitted to exist in your current reality without interference. If you fail, the leader's mask seemed to darken. We will forcibly extract your soul and relocate it to a containment dimension where your power cannot destabilize the multiverse. Sounds simple enough. What constitutes sufficient demonstration? Survive 30 minutes against the full council without losing control of your power or threatening the stability of the Nexus itself. Show us you can wield God-tier strength without destroying everything around you. Naruto planted Yoi, leaning on it casually. And if I win, if I beat all 33 of you? The council members shifted, clearly not having expected that question. That is not the trial's purpose, the leader said carefully. We are not here to be defeated, but to assess. Yeah, but hypothetically, Naruto interrupted. If I kick all your asses, does that prove I'm stable? Or do you have some backup plan to try extracting me anyway? Silence. Then the leader spoke with what might have been respect. If you defeat the full council in fair combat, we will classify you as transcendent, an anomaly so powerful that attempting containment would cause more instability than allowing you freedom. You would be granted absolute autonomy, and the Void Walkers would never interfere with you again. Perfect. Naruto spun Yoi, the staff humming with anticipation. Then let's skip the survival test and go straight to the ass-kicking. I didn't come here to run away for 30 minutes. I came here to prove I'm beyond your authority. The council leader tilted their head. You wish to challenge us to genuine combat rather than accept the easier survival trial? Absolutely. I'm a martial artist, the Monkey King. Fighting is what I do, and I don't half-ass it. Naruto's grin was sharp. Besides, you hunted me down because I'm a dimensional anomaly. Might as well show you exactly what kind of anomaly I am. So be it. The leader raised a hand, and the other 32 council members moved into formation. The trial is amended. Defeat the Void Walker Council in combat. No time limit. No holding back. Show us the full extent of your power, Jin Mori. Now we're talking. Naruto dropped into stance, Yui spinning into ready position. Let's dance! The council attacked. 33 beings who existed across multiple realities, each one capable of manipulating fundamental forces, all coordinating with perfect synchronization. They came from every angle simultaneously, above, below, through dimensional tiers, phasing through space itself. Naruto met them head-on. Mandorio Chagi! The spinning kick generated a shockwave that forced the first wave back. Before they could recover, Naruto was already moving, Yoi extending to impossible lengths. Yoi, infinite extension! The staff became a 1,000-mile pillar in an instant, sweeping through the Nexus and catching a dozen council members who tried flanking maneuvers. The impact sent them flying, their starlight robes flickering. But the council adapted instantly. Those Naruto had struck phased out, allowing the attack to pass through them. Others created dimensional barriers that redirected Yoi's momentum. Several merged together, forming gestalts that multiplied their individual power. Impressive adaptation, Naruto acknowledged, pulling Yoi back and splitting it into multiple copies. But let's see how you handle this. Sam Sutekyon! He executed the triple kick technique while simultaneously controlling 7 Yoi copies, creating a 10-directional assault that the council couldn't fully dodge. Several took direct hits, their forms destabilizing briefly before reconstituting. The leader's voice echoed across the nexus. Increase pressure, show the anomaly what the full council can do. Reality itself began to fold. The council members weren't just attacking, they were reshaping the nexus's fundamental structure, creating impossible geometries that would trap and contain Naruto. Space became non-Euclidean. Time flowed in multiple directions simultaneously. Gravity operated on 7 different axes. Most beings would have been overwhelmed instantly. Naruto just entered Monkey King mode. Golden aura exploded outward, tail emerging, power multiplying tenfold. The impossible geometries meant nothing when you could perceive and move across dimensional barriers naturally. Turbo kick! Enhanced speed allowed Naruto to navigate the scrambled space-time, his kicks landing on council members who thought they positioned themselves in unreachable locations. The nexus shook with each impact, stars in the cosmic sky flickering. 3 council members merged into a single massive gestalt, reality warping around them as they charged. Naruto met them with Yoi, the staff extending across multiple dimensional layers simultaneously. Yoi Huachuk! The combination technique struck the gestalt across 7 different realities at once. The merged entity split apart, its components scattered. But the council had 33 members, and Naruto had only incapacitated 8 so far. The remaining 25 coordinated a technique that made their previous attacks look weak. They began unraveling the nexus itself, creating a zone of pure entropy that would dissolve anything it touched. Clever, Naruto admitted, watching the entropy sphere expand toward him. You're trying to force me into complete Monkey King form. Want to see if I can control that level of power without destroying everything. Can you? The leader challenged. Let's find out. Naruto's aura intensified, white beginning to creep into his golden hair. Ruyi Mori! The transformation completed instantly, white hair blazing, golden aura blinding, presence so overwhelming that several council members actually stepped back. In this form, Naruto's power multiplied 100-fold, reality bending to accommodate his existence. He kicked the entropy sphere, just kicked it. No special technique, no complex martial arts. A simple front kick executed with Ruyi Mori's overwhelming force. The sphere shattered, entropy itself unable to withstand divine physical force applied with perfect technique. The shockwave from the kick dispersed the council's formation completely. Hochuk! The ultimate renewal taekwondo kick, executed in Ruyi Mori form, created devastation that transcended normal combat. The circular shockwave expanded outward, forcing the council to use every defensive technique they possessed just to avoid being obliterated. 5 more council members were incapacitated. 20 remained. He's too strong, one Void Walker muttered. We need the absolute authority technique. No, the leader commanded. That technique would destabilize the Nexus irreparably. We must defeat him through skill, not through mutual destruction. Then we merge, all of us. The 20 remaining council members looked at each other, then nodded in unison. They began combining, not in pairs or trios, but all 20 merging into a single entity that radiated power beyond anything Naruto had faced before. The merged council stood as a being of pure starlight, 20 masks orbiting its head, presence so massive it dwarfed even Ruyi Mori's divine aura. When it spoke, reality itself vibrated. You have forced us to this, Jin Mori. The Void Walker Council united, our absolute combat form. Against this, even your Ruyi Mori transformation will fall. Naruto grinned savagely. Perfect. I was hoping you'd give me a reason to go all out. His aura shifted again, white hair remaining but now crackling with red lightning. The 9 tails emerged, each one representing a facet of divine power. A crown manifested on his head, ethereal and radiant, marking him as royalty among gods. Complete Monkey King form, Naruto declared, his voice carrying divine authority that made the Nexus itself bend in recognition. Let's see if your merged form can handle the actual Monkey King. They clashed. The impact created a shockwave that resonated across dimensional boundaries, affecting realities beyond the Nexus. Naruto's kicks met the Council United's reality warping attacks, martial arts perfection against omniversal authority. Quad kick! 4 simultaneous strikes across different spatial coordinates, each one carrying complete Monkey King power. The Council United blocked 3, but took the 4th directly, their merged form flickering. Dimensional severance, the Council United countered, attacking Naruto's connection to his original reality, trying to cut him off from the source of his power. Naruto laughed, 9 tails swishing. You think my power comes from a reality? I am the reality. I don't draw from Jin Mori's world. I carry it inside me. He proved it by executing a technique the Council United couldn't counter. Yoi, multiversal extension. The staff extended across not just dimensional layers, but across entire realities, becoming a pillar that existed in every universe simultaneously. Using it as an anchor, Naruto launched into an assault that defied comprehension. Octo Kick! 8 instantaneous strikes from 8 different angles across 8 different dimensional planes. The Council United took all 8 hits, their merged form beginning to destabilize. Impossible, they gasped. You're fighting across the entire multiverse at once. That level of spatial awareness, that degree of power, you've transcended even our expectations. I told you, Naruto said, 9 tails spreading like a divine crown. I'm not just strong, I'm the Monkey King, the god who achieved divinity through martial arts alone. Your authority over dimensions means nothing to someone who's made the multiverse his personal training ground. The Council United made a final, desperate attack, channeling power that would normally be forbidden. They tried to erase Naruto from existence itself, targeting not his body, but the fundamental concept of Jin Mori across all realities. Naruto felt the attack hit, felt it trying to unmake him, to delete him from the cosmic record. And in that moment of absolute threat, he finally achieved it. The final integration, the complete fusion of Naruto Uzumaki and Jin Mori, not 2 identities sharing a soul, but one being who was simultaneously both, perfectly unified. His appearance changed. The 9 tails remained, but now they moved with perfect natural grace rather than deliberate divine authority. His eyes became a fusion of blue and gold. Naruto's optimistic determination merged with Jin Mori's ancient wisdom. The crown on his head solidified, no longer ethereal but real, marking him as the true god of high school reborn. Mori Jin mode. The words weren't shouted or declared dramatically, just stated, a simple fact of existence. Naruto had become Mori Jin, and Mori Jin had become Naruto. Complete integration, perfect unity. The Council United's erasure attack hit this new form and simply stopped, dissolved. Rejected by reality itself because erasing someone who existed as a fundamental constant of the multiverse was impossible. Naruto Jin Mori now, looked at his hands, feeling power that transcended everything before. This wasn't a transformation. This was his true form, the complete expression of who he'd always been. Thank you, he told the Council United sincerely. You pushed me to the final level. Now let me show you what the god of high school can really do. He moved, not teleported, not phased, just moved. But at such speed, with such perfect technique, that the movement itself became a technique. Morijin original, 250,000x kick. Time stopped having meaning. Space became irrelevant. Naruto's leg moved 250,000 times within a fractional instant, each kick striking a different point on the Council United's merged form, each impact carrying full Mori Jin mode power. The Council United lasted 3 kicks before beginning to destabilize. By kick 10,000, they were falling apart. By kick 100,000, they were desperately trying to unfuse to separate back into individual members. By kick 250,000, they lay defeated, split back into 20 individual void walkers who were unconscious, their starlight robes shattered, masks cracked. Naruto landed gently, Mori Jin mode still active but controlled perfectly. The nexus was intact. Despite the overwhelming power displayed, not a single permanent scar marred the neutral space. The 13 council members who'd been defeated earlier slowly rose, staring at what had transpired. Their leader approached cautiously, masks showing profound respect. You did it, they said quietly. Not just defeated us, but achieved complete integration while doing so. Naruto Uzumaki, Jin Mori, Mori Jin. You are all of these, yet none of them exclusively. You have transcended dimensional classification. Does that mean I pass? Naruto asked, releasing Mori Jin mode to return to his base form, though even that felt different now. more complete, as if his base form had been upgraded by achieving true integration. You exceed the trial's requirements, the leader confirmed. The Void Walker Council hereby classifies you as transcendent, an anomaly beyond our authority or jurisdiction. Your existence will be recorded in our archives as the reborn god, and we will ensure all dimensional authorities know you are not to be interfered with. Appreciate it. Naruto stretched, working out pleasant soreness from muscles pushed to absolute limits. That was a great fight. You guys are strong. Definitely the best opponents I've faced since achieving complete Monkey King form. We were no match for your final technique, the leader said. That 250,000x kick. Even beings who manipulate reality itself cannot counter such perfect martial execution. It's not about manipulating reality, Naruto explained. It's about being so good at combat that reality accommodates you naturally. That's what Renewal Taekwondo really is. Martial arts so perfect that the universe itself makes room for it. The council members who could still stand bowed in unison. We acknowledge you, Mori Jin. May your existence bring stability to whichever reality you choose to call home. It will, Naruto promised. Because anyone who threatens my home, they'll face the same thing you just did. A god who's mastered the art of kicking ass across multiple dimensions. The dimensional door back to Konoha appeared, ready for his return. Naruto paused before leaving. Hey, if you guys ever want a rematch after you've healed and trained some more, come find me. I'm always up for fighting strong opponents. The council leader actually laughed, a sound like stars colliding. Perhaps we will, though next time we'll bring the entire Void Walker organization, not just the council. Looking forward to it. Naruto waved cheerfully and stepped through the door. He emerged back in Konoha to find the entire village gathered, watching anxiously. The moment he appeared, looking completely fine despite having faced 33 dimensional beings in combat, the crowd erupted in relief and celebration. Tsunade reached him first. Well, complete victory, Naruto reported with a grin. They officially classified me as transcendent, which means they can't interfere with me ever again. Also, I achieved the final transformation, Mori Jin mode, full integration of my past and current lives. You what? Yeah, I'm fully me now. Naruto Uzumaki and Jin Mori aren't separate anymore. I'm both completely. It's hard to explain, but it feels right. Like pieces finally fitting together perfectly. Guy pushed through the crowd, tears already flowing. You achieved the ultimate youthful unity, the complete self. Something like that, Naruto agreed, accepting Guy's crushing hug. Thanks for all the training, Guy-sensei. Without you pushing me to master each technique properly, I never would have gotten here. The celebration lasted into the night, not because Naruto had defeated a major threat, though he had, but because he'd achieved something profound, complete self-actualization, the perfect fusion of who he was and who he'd been. Later, standing alone on the Hokage monument, Naruto reflected on his journey, from a genin who just started remembering strange martial arts techniques to a god who'd proven his transcendence to dimensional authorities. But he wasn't done growing. He could feel it. Even Mori Jin mode wasn't his absolute peak. There were still techniques to perfect, abilities to explore, battles to fight. The 250,000x kick was his current limit. But what about beyond that? What about techniques that existed only in the deepest memories of Jin Mori's divine combat experience? Always another level, Naruto muttered to himself, grinning. Always another fight. That's what makes existence worth it. The night wind carried his words away, and somewhere across the multiverse, dimensional beings marked the reborn god's location and thought very carefully before deciding whether to ever cross his path. 3 months after the Void Walker trial, Konoha underwent massive changes. Tsunade initiated them personally, recognizing that housing a transcendent class being required adjustments to village infrastructure and policy. We can't keep classifying you as a genin, she told Naruto bluntly. It's absurd. You're beyond rank, beyond classification. We need a new category. They settled on Village Guardian, a position outside the normal command structure, answering only to the Hokage and carrying authority to act independently in any situation threatening Konoha. It came with resources, autonomy, and most importantly, official acknowledgement of Naruto's unique status. Training Ground 44 was expanded further and designated Naruto's personal training space. Sealing teams established barriers that could withstand Mori-Jin mode combat, and dimensional anchors prevented accidental reality tears during intense practice sessions. But the biggest change was internal. Naruto's complete integration had unlocked memories and knowledge he'd previously accessed only in fragments. He now remembered Jin Mori's entire martial arts journey, from basic student to god of high school. Every technique, every battle, every hard-won lesson was now fully available, which meant he could push beyond his previous limits. Jebongchim acupuncture, Naruto muttered, studying his hand as he practiced the pressure point technique. Jin Mori used this to unlock latent potential, to boost physical capabilities beyond normal limits. But that was on humans. What happens when I use it on myself, someone who's already god tier? He pressed specific points on his arm, channeling divine energy through the acupressure network. His muscles responded immediately, power spiking to levels that made Mori-Jin mode look restrained. The spike lasted only seconds before fading, but those seconds had granted power that transcended conventional categorization. Naruto grinned, recognizing the technique's potential. Self-boosting through acupuncture, combined with Mori-Jin mode, executing the 250,000x kick? I wonder how high I could push that number. He spent the next week exploring this combination, carefully monitoring his body's limits. With Jebongchim boosting, he managed to reach 500,000x kick before the strain became dangerous. The technique carved canyons through Training Ground 44, creating devastation that the ceiling barriers could barely contain. Guy watched these training sessions with a mixture of pride and existential awe. His student had surpassed not just him, but the entire ninja world, existing in a tier of power where comparison to normal combat became meaningless. "You're holding back," Guy observed during one session. "Even with the acupuncture boost, you're not using full power. Why?" "Because I haven't fought anyone who requires it," Naruto admitted. "The Void Walker Council was strong, but once I achieved Mori-Jin mode, they couldn't match me. I want to save my absolute peak for an opponent who can actually force it out. Someone stronger than dimensional beings who exist across multiple realities? They're out there," Naruto said confidently. "The multiverse is infinite. Somewhere, there's a fighter who can push me past 500,000x kick, force me to combine every technique simultaneously, make me evolve beyond even Mori-Jin mode. And until then, I protect Konoha, keep training, and wait for the next challenge." Naruto's grin was sharp. "Though if the universe takes too long sending strong opponents, I might start looking for them myself." That opportunity came sooner than expected. It started with reality fractures, small tears in the fabric of existence appearing throughout the ninja world. At first, they seemed random, harmless. Then creatures began emerging from them. Not summons, not jutsu-created beings. These were entities from beyond reality's boundaries, drawn through the fractures by something calling to them. They ranged from animalistic monsters to vaguely humanoid warriors, all radiating power that made Jonin-level threats look weak. Konoha's forces engaged them immediately, but the sheer numbers proved overwhelming. Every fracture spawned dozens of entities, and fractures were appearing everywhere, in the Land of Fire, across all 5 great nations, even in minor countries. Tsunade summoned Naruto after the 3rd day, when casualties started mounting despite coordinated efforts. "We're losing ground," she said bluntly. "These entities are too strong for most Jonin, too numerous for our elites to handle everywhere simultaneously. We need you in the field." "Where's the central fracture?" Naruto asked immediately. "These things are being drawn from somewhere. There must be a primary tier they're using as an anchor point. Intelligence suggests it's near the Valley of the End. A massive fracture opened there 4 days ago, and it's been expanding ever since. We haven't sent anyone to investigate because the entities emerging from that specific fracture are..." Tsunade hesitated. "They're reading as S-rank minimum. Dozens of them." "Perfect." Naruto stood, Yui appearing in his hand. "I'll handle the central fracture. Deploy your forces to protect civilians and contain the smaller tiers. Once I close the main one, the others should destabilize." "Are you certain you can?" "Tsunade," Naruto interrupted gently. "I fought 33 Void Walkers and won. A bunch of extra-dimensional entities aren't going to be a problem. She nodded, trusting his assessment. Be careful anyway. We don't know what created this fracture or why it's targeting our reality specifically. Naruto reached the Valley of the End within minutes, moving at speeds that made conventional travel look stationary. What he found made him pause, not from fear, but from genuine interest. The fracture was massive, a tear in reality spanning 500 feet across and crackling with energy from beyond normal dimensional boundaries. And emerging from it were indeed S-rank entities, humanoid warriors wearing armor that seemed to be forged from crystallized nothingness, wielding weapons that cut through space itself. But more interesting was what stood before the fracture, clearly commanding the invasion. A figure radiating power that made even Naruto's senses sharpen with attention. They wore armor similar to their soldiers, but ornate, marked with symbols that suggested authority. Their presence carried weight comparable to the Voidwalker Council united, not quite as strong, but in the same tier. And when they sensed Naruto's arrival, they turned with evident satisfaction. Finally, the figure spoke, voice carrying harmonics that suggested they weren't from this dimension. The reborn god appears. I was beginning to think you'd ignore my invitation. Your invitation? Naruto planted Yui, leaning casually despite the S-rank entities surrounding him. You opened these fractures to get my attention? Indeed. I am Kale, commander of the Infinite Legion, guardian of the threshold between realities. And you, Naruto Jin Mori, are a problem I was sent to resolve. Let me guess, I'm a dimensional anomaly again, destabilizing reality through my very existence, and you're here to contain or eliminate me? Not quite. Kale's helmet retracted, revealing features that were almost human but with eyes that contained galaxies. I was sent to test you. The Void Walkers classified you as transcendent, but my organization, the Threshold Guardians, doesn't accept their authority. We have our own classification system, our own tests. And if I refuse to take your test, then I invade your reality until you do. My legion consists of 100,000 soldiers, each one comparable to what you'd call S-rank. I can maintain the fractures indefinitely, flooding this world with warriors until either you engage me or your reality collapses from the strain. Naruto's grin became savage. You're threatening my world to force me into combat? Bold strategy. Stupid, but bold. I'm offering you the chance to prove yourself against a worthy opponent, Kale corrected. The Void Walkers merged into a single entity to fight you, showing they couldn't match your individual power. I, however, stand before you alone. No tricks, no merging, no dimensional authority, just pure combat between warriors. And if I win, I close all fracture, withdraw my legion, and classify you as Apex Transcendent, recognized by the Threshold Guardians as beyond interference from any dimensional authority. And if you win, you submit to Threshold Guardian judgment. We decide whether you're allowed to remain in this reality or must be relocated somewhere your power won't pose a threat. Naruto considered this. On one hand, another fight to prove himself was annoying. On the other hand, Kale's presence suggested genuine strength. This might actually be the battle he'd been waiting for. All right, Naruto agreed. But when I kick your ass, you're going to withdraw your entire legion permanently and mark this reality as off limits to all dimensional authorities, not just Threshold Guardians, everyone. Agreed, and when I defeat you, you'll cooperate with relocation peacefully. They moved to the center of the valley, the S-rank soldiers forming a perimeter. Kale drew a weapon, a blade that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, capable of cutting not just flesh, but reality itself. Naruto summoned Yui to full staff form, spinning it casually. No transformations to start. Let's see what you can do in base combat. As you wish. They engaged. Kale was fast, faster than most beings Naruto had fought, moving with speed that suggested mastery of dimensional shortcuts. Their blades sliced through space, creating attacks that came from impossible angles. Naruto met them with renewal taekwondo, his kicks intercepting blade strikes with precision that made conventional combat logic obsolete. Huechuk, Nario Chagi, Mandorio Chagi. Each technique forced Kale back, the commander's expression shifting from confidence to genuine focus. Naruto's base form was already beyond what they'd expected. Impressive, Kale admitted, dodging a turbo kick by phasing partially out of reality. But let me show you what the Infinite Legion's commander can do. They activated their armor's true function, and suddenly Kale was moving across 100 different dimensional layers simultaneously, attacking from every possible angle at once. Naruto responded by entering Monkey King mode, golden aura flaring, tail emerging. His perception expanded to match Kale's multi-dimensional assault, and his speed increased enough to counter every attack. Samsu Taekyon! The triple kick struck Kale across 3 different dimensional layers, forcing them to fully manifest in standard reality. Blood leaked from their mouth, first damage they'd taken. You're strong, Naruto acknowledged. Stronger than the individual Void Walkers, but you're not strong enough to beat Monkey King mode, and definitely not ready for what comes after. Then I'll show you my full power. Kale's armor exploded with energy, their presence multiplying exponentially. Infinite Legion Commander, full authority. Reality itself bent around Kale as they accessed their complete combat form. They began splitting, not clones but actual alternate versions of themselves from different dimensional timelines, all existing simultaneously. 10 Kales, then 20, then 50, all moving with coordinated perfection. Most opponents would have been overwhelmed. Naruto just grinned and accessed Ruyi Mori. White hair blazed, golden aura intensified to blinding levels, power multiplied 100-fold. The 50 Kales hesitated, their collective instincts recognizing they pushed Naruto to a level where victory became questionable. Ho-chuk! The ultimate renewal Kwando kick executed in Ruyi Mori form created devastation that forced all 50 Kales to dodge simultaneously. The circular shockwave carved the Valley of the End into a new shape, creating permanent geographical changes. Naruto pressed the assault, not giving the multiple Kales time to coordinate. Quad kick! 4 simultaneous strikes across different spatial coordinates, each one targeting different Kale versions. 8 of the 50 were incapacitated instantly, dissolving back into non-existence. Octo kick! 8 instantaneous strikes, 16 more Kales eliminated. The remaining versions tried to merge back into a single entity, recognizing that splitting their power across multiple forms was a losing strategy against someone who could strike all of them simultaneously. The merged Kale radiated power comparable to the Voidwalker Council united, reality warping around them as they channeled everything into a single ultimate attack. Dimensional severance, absolute. The technique targeted not Naruto's body, but the fundamental connection between his current existence and his original reality as Jin Mori. It was an attack designed specifically to counter transcendent beings, sever them from their power source. Naruto felt the attack hit, felt it trying to cut him off from Jin Mori's divine nature, and he laughed. You still don't understand, he said, his form shifting to Mori Jin mode, complete integration, perfect unity. I don't draw power from Jin Mori's reality. I am Jin Mori, reborn completely. There's no connection to sever because the power is inherent to my existence. In Mori Jin mode, Naruto's capabilities transcended what Kale could counter. He moved with speed that made time meaningless, struck with force that reshaped reality, and executed techniques with perfection that made Kale's dimensional manipulation look crude. Mori Jin original, 250,000x kick. Time stopped having relevance. Naruto's leg moved 250,000 times within a fractional instant, each kick striking Kale with full Mori Jin mode power, targeting every vulnerable point across all dimensional layers simultaneously. Kale lasted longer than the Voidwalker Council united, making it to kick 50,000 before their armor shattered, to 100,000 before their body began breaking down, to 150,000 before they were forced to their knees. By kick 250,000, they lay defeated, armor destroyed, blade shattered, body barely maintaining cohesion. Naruto landed gently, Mori Jin mode still active, but controlled. You were strong, Kale? Definitely stronger than most beings I've fought. But you made the same mistake everyone makes, assuming my power comes from somewhere external, that it can be countered or severed or contained. He extended a hand to help Kale stand. My power is who I am. Trying to separate me from it is like trying to separate water from wetness. It's fundamental, inherent, absolute. Kale accepted the hand, struggling upright. You've proven your point. The Threshold Guardians will classify you as Apex Transcendent. No dimensional authority will interfere with you again. And the fractures? Closing now. Kale raised a hand and the massive tear in reality began sealing. Across the ninja world, all other fractures followed suit, the S-rank soldiers withdrawing before the tears closed completely. Your reality is safe, though I suspect other challenges will find you eventually. Let them come, Naruto replied confidently. I'll be ready. Kale's form began fading, returning to their home dimension. But before disappearing completely, they offered one final piece of information. There are beings in the multiverse who exceed even me, Naruto Jin Mori, entities that make my infinite legion look weak. If you truly seek the ultimate battle, continue growing, continue pushing beyond your limits. Eventually, you'll find opponents who can force you past even Mori Jin mode. Then they were gone, and Naruto stood alone in the recarved Valley of the End, feeling satisfied but not complete. Kale had been strong, had forced him to use Mori Jin mode, had even survived 250,000x kick longer than the Void Walkers. But they hadn't pushed him beyond his current limits, hadn't forced him to discover new techniques or access deeper power. The battle had been good, but not transcendent. I need stronger opponents, Naruto muttered to himself. Need battles that force evolution, not just demonstration. He returned to Konoha to report success, the fractures all sealed, the invasion repelled. The ninja world celebrated another crisis averted by their resident god, and Tsunade officially upgraded Naruto's threat assessment to Planetary Plus, indicating that his combat capability could handle planet-scale threats. But Naruto's thoughts were already elsewhere, contemplating Kale's final words. Beings that exceeded the Infinite Legion commander. Opponents who could push him past Mori Jin mode. They were out there, somewhere in the infinite multiverse. He just needed to find them, or wait for them to find him. 6 months after the Fracture War, Naruto had perfected every technique in his arsenal. The 250,000x kick, executed flawlessly even in base form, though it still required Mori Jin mode for the technique to carry sufficient power to matter against god-tier opponents. Yoi's multiversal extension allowed him to strike targets in any reality he could perceive. Jebong Chim acupuncture boosted his capabilities beyond measurable limits. But perfection brought boredom. Guy noticed it during a training session. You're distracted, executing techniques perfectly but without passion. What's wrong? I'm too strong, Naruto admitted bluntly. Every opponent who shows up, every challenge the multiverse throws at me, I handle them without really being pushed. The Void Walkers, Kale, the Coalition, they all fell to techniques I'd already mastered. No one has forced me to evolve since achieving Mori Jin mode. Perhaps evolution comes not from external pressure, but from internal drive, Guy suggested. What techniques exist beyond what you've already mastered? Naruto considered carefully. In his complete memories as Jin Mori, there were techniques he theorized but never executed. Attacks so powerful, so complex, that even the god of high school had considered them purely hypothetical. There's one, he said slowly. A technique that exists only in Jin Mori's deepest combat fantasies. He called it Arang Complete, a combination of every renewal taekwondo technique executed simultaneously across every dimensional layer that exists, creating an attack that strikes everything everywhere all at once. Can it be done? Theoretically? Maybe? Practically? It would require power beyond Mori Jin mode, perception that encompasses the entire multiverse simultaneously, and technique execution so perfect that reality itself accommodates the impossible. So a technique that requires you to transcend even your current peak. Exactly. Naruto's grin returned. Which means I need to find a way to go beyond Mori Jin mode, access whatever level exists past complete integration. Is there such a level? Has to be. Power is infinite. There's always another level, always another transformation, always another peak to reach. I just need to figure out what comes after achieving perfect unity of past and present selves. The answer came from an unexpected source. A week later, Tsunade summoned Naruto with unusual urgency. We've received a message, not through normal channels, but through reality itself. Someone carved words into dimensional fabric where our seal masters could detect them. What does it say? To the reborn God, if you seek true transcendence, come to the origin point, where all realities intersect, where the multiverse was born. Prove yourself worthy, and I'll show you what exists beyond integration. Signed, the first god. Naruto's interest sharpened immediately. The first god? Do we know who that is? The Seal Masters believe it's not a title, but a literal description. The first being to achieve divinity in the entire multiverse, predating all other gods, existing since the moment reality began separating into distinct universes. And they want to meet me? Apparently. Though the message includes a warning, only those who have achieved true Mori Jin mode may enter the origin point. All others will be unmade by the primordial energies. When do I leave? Naruto, this could be a trap. A being claiming to be the first god in all existence is exactly the kind of opponent I've been waiting for, Naruto finished. Someone who's existed since the multiverse's creation, who's presumably seen every form of power that's ever existed? They might actually be able to push me beyond my current limits. Tsunade sighed, recognizing that look. Fine, but you're taking precautions. We'll have our best Seal Masters standing by to emergency extract you if things go wrong. Fair enough. Naruto stood, excitement radiating from him for the first time in months. Though I doubt extraction will be necessary, this feels right, like the universe has been building toward this meeting. The Seal Masters created a portal to the origin point using the dimensional coordinates embedded in the message. As Naruto approached, they issued final warnings. The energy readings from that location are off all scales. Whatever's there, it exists in a state that predates normal reality's formation. Perfect, Naruto replied. That's exactly what I need. He stepped through. The transition was jarring, moving from Kono's normal reality into something fundamental. The origin point existed as a space that was simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, containing every reality while being separate from all of them. It appeared as an infinite white void with a single figure standing at its center. They looked human, deliberately so, Naruto sensed, a form chosen for communication rather than their true nature. But their presence was overwhelming, radiating power that made even Mori Jin mode feel insignificant by comparison. Naruto Jin Mori, the first god greeted, voice carrying the weight of eons. The reborn god, the Monkey King transcendent, the being who achieved complete integration. You've come far. You called me here, Naruto replied, dropping into a respectful stance despite his usual casualness. This being deserved respect. Said you'd show me what exists beyond integration. I'm here to learn. Good. Humility despite power, a rare combination. The first god gestured, and reality responded, creating a platform for them to stand on. But before I teach you anything, you must prove you're worthy. Fight me. Show me this Mori Jin mode that's made you transcendent. Naruto didn't hesitate. He entered Mori Jin mode immediately. Complete integration activating, power transcending conventional limits. And the first god smiled. Adequate, but insufficient. They moved. Naruto found himself on the defensive for the first time since achieving complete integration. The first god's combat style was unlike anything he'd encountered, simultaneously using techniques from every martial art that had ever existed across all realities, combining them with divine power that predated the concept of gods themselves. Samsu Taekyon, Quad Kick, Octo Kick. Naruto unleashed his techniques in rapid succession, each one executed with Mori Jin mode perfection. The first god blocked them all casually, not even appearing to strain. You're strong, they acknowledged. Perhaps the strongest being who's achieved integration naturally. But integration is merely the first step toward true transcendence. They attacked, and Naruto felt techniques hitting him that shouldn't exist. Strikes that bypassed his defenses, kicks that existed outside normal time-space, attacks that targeted aspects of existence he didn't know could be attacked. What are you doing? Naruto demanded, struggling to counter. I'm showing you the difference between integration and transcendence. The first god's form shifted, becoming something beyond human comprehension. You've unified your past and present selves, Jin Mori and Naruto Uzumaki existing as one. But transcendence requires going further, unifying not just yourselves, but your entire existence across all possible timelines, all potential realities, every version of you that could exist simultaneously. Naruto's eyes widened, understanding dawning. You want me to become everything I could be, all at once? Precisely. Mori Jin mode is you at your current peak in this specific timeline. Transcendent mode would be you at your absolute peak across every possible timeline, every potential evolution, every version of yourself that could exist in any reality. Is that even possible? For most beings, no. For you? The first god's smile was encouraging. You've already done the impossible by achieving complete integration in a reality that didn't originally contain Jin Mori. Transcending to encompass all your potential selves is just the next step. How do I do it? By fighting me seriously and losing. The first god's presence intensified to levels that made the origin point itself strain. I will push you beyond Mori Jinmo's limits, beyond what you thought possible. And in that moment of absolute desperation, you'll either transcend or break. Now, show me the 250,000x kick. Naruto didn't need encouragement. Mori Jin original 250,000x kick. Time lost meaning as Naruto's leg moved 250,000 times within an instant, each strike carrying full Mori Jin mode power. The first god took every hit without dodging, tanking the assault that had defeated every previous opponent. When the technique finished, they stood completely unharmed. Good technique, excellent execution, but insufficient power. They raised a hand. Let me show you what 250,000x kick looks like when performed by someone who's achieved transcendence. They moved, and Naruto experienced firsthand what the first god had described. It wasn't 250,000 kicks in one timeline. It was 250,000 kicks in every timeline simultaneously, each version of the first god executing the technique perfectly across infinite realities at once. Naruto's Mori Jin mode defenses shattered. His body took damage that should have been impossible. And in that moment of absolute overwhelming force, something inside him cracked. Not broke, cracked. Like an egg hatching, like a seal breaking, like a door opening to reveal what lay beyond. He could feel them, all the other Narutos, all the other Jin Moris, every version of himself that existed across infinite possible realities. The Naruto who'd become Hokage at 15, the Jin Mori who'd never died and continued growing, the fusion of both who'd achieved powers beyond imagination, all of them, all at once, reaching out across dimensional barriers to connect with this specific version who stood on the edge of transcendence. Yes, the first god encouraged. Feel them, accept them. They are all you, and you are all of them. Unite not just your past and present, but every possible version of your existence across infinity. Naruto's form began to change. Mori Jin mode intensified, but it was shifting into something beyond, incorporating not just who he was and who he'd been, but who he could be, would be, might be in every conceivable reality. His appearance became fluid, features occasionally shifting to show alternate versions, sometimes more Naruto, sometimes more Jin Mori, sometimes something entirely new. 9 tails remained, but now they were composed of energy from infinite realities simultaneously. His eyes contained galaxies. His presence made the origin point itself acknowledge his authority. Transcendent mode. The words emerged naturally, a statement of existence rather than declaration. Naruto had transcended integration, achieving something beyond, unity with all possible versions of himself across infinite timelines. The first god stepped back, genuine pride in their expression. You did it. Achieved transcendent mode naturally through combat pressure rather than eons of meditation. Remarkable. Naruto looked at his hands, feeling power that made Mori Jin mode look weak by comparison. This wasn't just a multiplication of strength. This was fundamental existence operating on a level beyond normal reality's laws. I can feel them, he whispered. All my other selves, all the techniques they've mastered, all the power they've achieved. It's like having infinite versions of myself contributing to a single form. That's exactly what it is, the first god confirmed. In transcendent mode, you can access any technique any version of you has ever learned, combine powers from different timelines, and execute attacks that exist across all realities simultaneously. Show me what that means. With pleasure. The first god entered their own transcendent mode, presence expanding to encompass infinite versions of themselves. Let's fight seriously now. Show me what the reborn god can do when truly unleashed. What followed was combat that transcended conventional description. Naruto and the first god fought across multiple realities simultaneously, their techniques affecting entire timelines, their clashes creating and destroying pocket dimensions. Naruto executed the 250,000x kick in Transcendent mode, and now it was truly devastating. 250,000 kicks from infinite versions of himself, all striking the same target across every possible timeline at once. The first god countered with techniques that predated the multiverse's formation, attacks that existed before the concept of combat itself. Reality warped, space folded, time became meaningless. They fought in ways that would unmake normal beings just from observing, power exchanges that would destabilize entire universes if not contained within the origin point's primordial space. And finally, after what might have been seconds or eons, time having lost all meaning, they stopped, both breathing hard, both satisfied. Enough, the first god declared, releasing Transcendent mode. You've proven yourself worthy, not just of the title Reborn God, but of something greater. Naruto released Transcendent mode as well, feeling the pleasant exhaustion of muscles pushed beyond absolute limits. That was incredible. You're the first opponent who's actually forced me to evolve mid-battle. And you're the first being in millennia to achieve Transcendent mode through combat rather than meditation. The first god extended a hand. I hereby acknowledge you as my equal, Naruto Jin Mori. From this day forward, you are recognized as a primordial, a being who exists on the same tier as those who shape the multiverse's fundamental structure. Naruto accepted the handshake, grinning widely. Does that mean I can finally call myself truly strong without anyone arguing? Oh, beings will still argue. The multiverse is infinite. There are always stronger opponents somewhere, but you've reached a level where very few can genuinely challenge you. The first god smiled, though I suspect you'll seek them out anyway. Obviously. Fighting strong opponents is what I live for. Then let me give you a gift. The first god raised a hand, and knowledge flooded into Naruto's mind. Techniques that existed before reality stabilized, combat methods used by the original gods, powers that predated conventional physics. These are called primordial arts, the first god explained. Martial techniques that were used before distinct realities formed, when everything existed as primordial chaos. Combined with your renewal taekwondo and transcendent mode, they'll make you nearly unstoppable. Naruto absorbed the knowledge, feeling new techniques integrating with his existing arsenal. Thank you. This is exactly what I needed. Use them well, and Naruto? The first god's expression became serious. You've achieved transcendent mode, but there's one more level beyond even that. I haven't achieved it myself. No being has, to my knowledge. But theoretically it exists. What is it? Absolute mode, where transcendent mode unifies all versions of you across timelines. Absolute mode would unify all versions of you across all possible concepts of existence. Not just every timeline, but every reality, every dimension, plus every plane of existence where the concept of you could manifest in any form. That sounds impossible, yes. Even I haven't found a way to access it. But if anyone could, the first god smiled. It would be the reborn god who achieved transcendent mode through combat. Naruto filed that information away, already contemplating the possibilities. But for now, he had what he came for. A new level achieved, new techniques mastered, and confirmation that he'd reached a tier of power beyond conventional categorization. I should return to Konoha, Naruto said. They're probably worried. Of course, but before you go, one warning. You've achieved primordial status, which means certain entities will take notice. Gods from realities older than most universes, beings who predate conventional existence. They may seek you out, test you, challenge you. Good, Naruto replied enthusiastically. I'd hate to get bored again after achieving transcendent mode. The first god laughed, genuine and warm. You really are something special, Naruto Jin Mori. Go home. Protect your reality, and when you're ready for the next challenge, they'll find you. Naruto returned through the portal to find Konoha in panic. From their perspective, he'd been gone for 3 days. The time dilation in the origin point had made hours feel like seconds. Tsunade almost hugged him in relief. We couldn't reach you. The portal closed immediately, and we couldn't reopen it. Sorry about that. Time moves differently in the origin point, Naruto grinned. But it was worth it. I achieved a new transformation, transcendent mode, and I got acknowledged as a primordial by the first god themselves. A primordial? Tsunade's medical knowledge included dimensional classifications. That's Naruto, that's the tier reserved for beings who existed before the multiverse stabilized. You're saying you're on the same level as reality's original architects? Apparently. Though I suspect I'm still weaker than most actual primordials since I achieved the status recently rather than existing since the beginning, Naruto shrugged. But it means I can protect Konoha from pretty much any threat now. Guy appeared, as enthusiastic as ever. You achieved another transformation? The eternal spring of youth truly knows no bounds. Want to spar and see what Transcendent Mode can do? Naruto offered. Absolutely. They moved to Training Ground 44, where Naruto demonstrated his new capabilities. Even without entering Transcendent Mode fully, just accessing a fraction of its power let him execute techniques that made his previous peak look restrained. The primordial arts integrated seamlessly with renewal taekwondo, ancient combat methods combining with divine martial arts to create combinations that transcended conventional fighting styles. Guy watched in awe as Naruto executed techniques that affected multiple realities simultaneously, creating combat effects that shouldn't be possible within a single timeline. You've truly transcended everything I could teach, Guy said with pride and a touch of melancholy. You're beyond not just me, but beyond anyone in this entire reality. You're still my teacher, Naruto assured him. Everything I achieved started with your training, your guidance, your belief that I could master these techniques. Without you, I never would have unlocked even Monkey King mode. The student has surpassed the master, Guy replied, tears flowing freely. This is the greatest achievement of my youthful journey, seeing you grow into someone who can protect not just Konoha, but the entire multiverse if needed. They embraced, teacher and student, both understanding that their relationship had evolved beyond simple instruction. Guy had helped birth a primordial, and that bond would transcend anything conventional training could create. Later, alone on the Hokage monument, Naruto contemplated everything he'd achieved. From a genin who just started remembering strange techniques, to a primordial acknowledged by the first god themselves. But the journey wasn't over. The first god had mentioned absolute mode, a level beyond even transcendent. And somewhere in the infinite multiverse, there were opponents who could challenge a primordial, beings who might force him to discover what lay beyond his current peak. Always another level, Naruto muttered, grinning at the infinite stars above. Always another fight. That's what makes existence worth living. And in the origin point, the first god smiled, knowing they'd created something unprecedented, a being who'd achieved primordial status through combat evolution rather than primordial existence, who would continue growing, continue fighting, continue transcending every limit placed before them. The multiverse had gained its newest primordial, and nothing would ever be the same. 2 months after achieving Transcendent Mode, Naruto's life settled into a new rhythm. Konoha's threats seemed almost trivial now. Even S-rank missing nin and enemy village plots felt beneath his attention. Tsunade handled most situations through conventional means, only calling on Naruto when something genuinely unusual appeared, which is why the alert that came through diplomatic channels caught everyone's attention. Every major village received the same message simultaneously, Tsunade explained at an emergency meeting. It's a challenge, not to any specific village, but to the reborn god who achieved primordial status. Who sent it? Naruto asked, interested despite himself. Someone calling themselves the Eternal Champion. They claim to be a warrior who's existed across multiple realities, collecting victories against the strongest fighters in every universe they visited. Kakashi provided additional context. Our intelligence suggests this Eternal Champion has defeated gods, demons, reality warpers, and dimensional authorities across hundreds of different universes. They travel the multiverse specifically seeking powerful opponents. And they want to fight me? Naruto's grin was sharp. When and where? That's the concerning part. Tsunade slid a scroll across her desk. They want to fight in neutral dimensional space in 3 days, but they've specified that this won't be a normal duel. It'll be a primordial clash, a battle format used by ancient gods before the multiverse stabilized into distinct realities. What does that entail? According to the first god's writings, which we access through the Seal Masters, a primordial clash is combat without restrictions. Full power, no holding back, no environmental concerns, because the battlefield exists outside normal reality. The fight continues until one combatant either surrenders, dies, or is rendered unable to continue. Sounds perfect, Naruto declared. I accept. Naruto, this could be a trap, an ambush by someone who knows you're powerful enough to be a primordial, but might not fully understand what that means. Then they'll find out the hard way. Naruto stood, stretching. Besides, a primordial clash sounds like exactly the kind of battle I've been waiting for. Someone who's fought gods across hundreds of universes, they might actually push me to use transcendent mode seriously. Guy spoke up, concern evident despite his usual enthusiasm. Will you be careful? Even your power has limits. Of course, but Guy-sensei, this is what I live for. Fighting strong opponents, testing myself against the best the multiverse can offer. This eternal champion, they're offering me exactly what I need. The 3 days passed quickly. Naruto spent them preparing mentally rather than physically. His body was already at peak primordial condition. He meditated on the primordial arts the first god had given him, integrating them fully with his renewal taekwondo and transcendent mode capabilities. When the appointed time arrived, a dimensional tier appeared exactly as the message had specified. Naruto approached it alone, despite Tsunade's offer to send backup. This is my fight, he'd said simply. Besides, anyone who's not a primordial would be obliterated just from proximity to this level of combat. He stepped through into the designated battlefield, a space that existed between realities, appearing as an infinite arena under a sky of pure white light. The ground beneath his feet felt solid, but seemed to stretch forever in all directions. The eternal champion waited at the arena's center. They appeared human-ish, tall, muscular, wearing armor that seemed to be forged from the conceptual essence of victory itself. Their face was visible, showing features that were simultaneously young and ancient, confident without arrogance. Naruto Jin Mori, the champion, greeted, voice carrying respect. The reborn god, newest primordial, the warrior who achieved transcendent mode through combat pressure. I'm honored to face you. You're the eternal champion? Naruto sized them up, sensing power that exceeded anything except the first god themselves. You feel strong, really strong. I've fought across 347 different universes, defeated 12,493 opponents, faced beings ranging from minor spirits to elder gods. I've mastered every combat style that exists across the multiverse. The champion drew a weapon that seemed to shift forms, sword, spear, staff, gauntlet, adapting to whatever combat scenario they envisioned. And now I face a primordial who achieved that status through evolution rather than primordial existence. This will be my greatest battle yet. Good. Naruto summoned Yoi, the staff appearing in its full form. Because I'm done holding back. I'm done fighting opponents who can't handle my serious techniques. You want a primordial clash? I'll give you one that'll make those 12,493 previous victories look like sparring sessions. Then let us begin. The champion dropped into a stance that incorporated elements from across the multiverse, techniques Naruto recognized and many he didn't. Show me why the first god acknowledged you as their equal. They engaged. The eternal champion was everything their reputation suggested. They moved with perfect technique, combined styles seamlessly, and demonstrated mastery that came from literally thousands of years of combat experience across hundreds of realities. Naruto met them with renewal taekwondo enhanced by primordial arts. Huichuk, Mondo Ryo Chagi, Neryo Chagi. Each kick carried power beyond conventional limits, each technique executed with perfection that came from being Jin Mori reborn. The champion blocked, dodged, countered with techniques from across the multiverse, creating combinations that most beings couldn't even perceive. Impressive, the champion acknowledged, phasing through a turbo kick only to take a follow-up Yoi strike. Your martial arts foundation is flawless, but let me show you what 12,000 plus victories teaches you. They attacked with a technique Naruto didn't recognize, combining sword work from a reality where blades could cut concepts, spear techniques from a dimension where physics operated differently, and hand-to-hand combat from a universe where beings fought with pure energy manipulation. Naruto found himself actually working to defend, his combat instincts firing on all cylinders. The champion was good, genuinely, impressively good, Better than the individual Void Walkers, comparable to Kale before the commander had accessed their full authority. Samsu Taekyon! Quad kick! Naruto escalated, using advanced techniques that forced the champion to stop attacking and focus on defense. 7 kicks across different spatial coordinates, each one carrying enough force to crater mountains. The champion handled it, but Naruto could see strain appearing. You're pushing me. I haven't been pushed in genuine combat since universe number 12. This is exciting. Then let me show you something really exciting. Naruto entered Monkey King mode, golden aura flaring, tail emerging. Power multiplied tenfold, speed increased beyond normal tracking capability. This is my first transformation. I've got 3 more beyond it. The champion's eyes widened slightly, recognizing the implication. You're not even using your second form yet? Then neither should I. They activated something. Not a transformation exactly, but a combat state that multiplied their capabilities. Combat mode, veteran. This is the form I use against god-tier opponents. The battle's intensity skyrocketed. Naruto in Monkey King mode, trading blows with the champion in veteran mode, created shockwaves that would have destabilized normal reality. The infinite arena absorbed the impacts, designed specifically to contain primordial level combat. Ho-chuk! The ultimate renewal taekwondo kick executed in Monkey King mode forced the champion back, carving a perfect circular crater in the arena floor. The champion countered with Eternal Strike, a technique that combined every lethal attack they'd ever witnessed, executed simultaneously. Naruto dodged most of it but took several hits, feeling actual damage for the first time in months. You hurt me, Naruto said, grinning savagely. Good, let's keep escalating. He entered Rui Mori, white hair blazing, golden aura intensifying to blinding levels. Power multiplied 100-fold, existence itself acknowledging his authority. The champion responded by advancing to Combat Mode Master, their form radiating power comparable to the Voidwalker Council United. Techniques flowing with perfection that came from mastering every combat style across hundreds of universes. They clashed, and the arena itself began showing strain. Space fractured, time stuttered, reality rippled from the sheer force of their exchange. Octo Kick! 8 instantaneous strikes across 8 different dimensional planes, Naruto's signature mid-tier technique executed with Rui Mori power. The champion took all 8 hits and countered immediately with Omniversal Counter, a defense-turned-offense technique that redirected enemy attacks while simultaneously striking vulnerable points. Naruto felt several ribs crack, his divine physiology the only thing preventing serious injury. You're really good. Better than anyone I've fought except the first god themselves. And you're living up to your reputation. The champion's weapon shifted through a dozen forms per second, adapting to whatever attack Naruto threw. But I can feel you're still holding back. You haven't used your final transformation. Why? Because you haven't either, Naruto pointed out. You've got one more combat mode beyond Master, don't you? I can sense it, the absolute peak you've achieved through 12,000 plus victories. The champion smiled, impressed. Perceptive. Yes, I have one final form, combat mode, legendary. The state I've achieved by defeating elder gods and primordial entities. But accessing it comes with cost. I can only maintain it briefly before my body breaks down from the strain. Same with my final form, Naruto admitted. Transcendent mode lets me access infinite power, but using it at full capacity is exhausting even for a primordial. So let's do this. We both go all out simultaneously, settle this with our absolute best techniques. Agreed. The champion's presence began intensifying, power building toward their ultimate state. On 3. 1. 2. Naruto's aura shifted, preparing for transcendent mode. 3. They transformed simultaneously. The eternal champion entered combat mode, legendary, their form becoming something beyond conventional existence. A being composed of pure victory essence, wielding power accumulated from 12,493 triumphs across 347 universes. Naruto accessed transcendent mode, unifying with all possible versions of himself across infinite timelines, becoming the absolute peak of what Naruto Jin Mori could be across every conceivable reality. The arena itself nearly collapsed from their combined presence. They moved as one, both recognizing that this final exchange would determine everything. The champion executed Victory Absolute, their ultimate technique, combining every deadly attack they'd ever learned from every opponent they'd ever defeated, channeling the conceptual essence of triumph itself. Naruto countered with a technique he theorized but never executed. Mori Jin Absolute, Infinite Renewal Kick. It was beyond the 250,000x kick, beyond any numbered technique. This was every version of Naruto across every timeline, executing every renewal taekwondo technique simultaneously, all striking the same target at the same instant across all possible realities. The collision was cataclysmic. Reality itself paused, unable to process the scale of power being exchanged. Time stopped flowing properly. Space fractured into incomprehensible geometries. The arena, designed to withstand primordial combat, cracked, barely maintaining cohesion. When the dust settled, both fighters stood facing each other, breathing hard, bodies damaged but spirits blazing with satisfaction. Then the eternal champion fell to one knee, weapon clattering from their grip. I lost, they gasped, reverting to base form. That technique, it was beyond anything I've encountered across 347 universes. You didn't just hit me. You hit every possible version of me simultaneously across all timelines. Naruto released Transcendent Mode, exhaustion hitting him like a physical blow. He'd pushed farther than ever before, executing a technique that technically shouldn't be possible even for a primordial. You were incredible, Naruto said honestly, helping the champion stand. That combat mode, legendary, was no joke. If I'd used anything less than Transcendent Mode at full capacity, you would have won. But you did use it, and you won. Fair and square. The champions smiled despite their defeat. 12,494 battles across 347 universes, and finally, I've been defeated. It feels liberating, actually. Why? Because for centuries, I've been searching for someone who could match me. Every universe I visited, every opponent I faced, they all fell eventually. I was beginning to think I'd never find an equal. The champion met Naruto's eyes. But you're not just my equal, you're beyond me. You've achieved something I never could. True transcendence through constant evolution rather than accumulated victory. You could achieve it too, Naruto suggested. You've got the foundation, 12,000 plus battles worth of experience. You just need to push beyond accumulation into integration. Perhaps. The champions stood fully, their wounds already healing through divine physiology. But that's a journey for another time. For now, they bowed formally. I acknowledge you, Naruto Jin Mori, as the primordial champion, the strongest fighter I've encountered across the entire multiverse. Want a rematch sometime? Naruto offered. After we've both healed and trained more? Absolutely. Though next time, I'll have developed counters to your Transcendent Mode techniques. And I'll have pushed even further beyond, maybe accessed Absolute Mode by then. They parted with mutual respect, the eternal champion returning to their multiversal journey while Naruto returned to Konoha. News of his victory spread quickly. The reborn god had defeated the legendary eternal champion, cementing his status as one of the multiverse's absolute strongest fighters. Tsunade met him at the village gates. You're injured. Yeah, first time I've taken real damage since fighting the first god. The eternal champion was legitimately incredible. Naruto grinned despite his exhaustion, and they'll be back eventually, stronger than before. I'm looking forward to it. You're addicted to fighting strong opponents. Completely, Naruto agreed cheerfully. But that's what being the Monkey King means. Constant challenge, endless growth, fighting the strongest the multiverse can offer. Guy appeared with medical supplies. Let us treat your youthful wounds and celebrate your glorious victory. As they walked into Konoha, Naruto reflected on how far he'd come. From a genin who just started remembering strange techniques, to the primordial champion acknowledged by beings who'd existed across the entire multiverse. But the journey wasn't over. The first god had mentioned Absolute Mode, a level beyond even transcendent. The eternal champion would return stronger, forcing Naruto to keep evolving. And somewhere in the infinite multiverse, there were undoubtedly other primordials, other beings who'd achieved god-tier status through different paths. More battles waited, more opponents would emerge, more levels to unlock, more techniques to master, more peaks to transcend. And Naruto couldn't wait, because at his core, whether as Naruto Uzumaki or Jin Mori, or the unified primordial he'd become, one truth remained constant. He lived for the fight. and the multiverse would keep providing them. Always. Always. Several months later, at the Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto stood on the Hokage monument as the sun set, watching his village go about its evening routine. Everything seemed peaceful, normal, safe, but he could feel it. A presence approaching. Not hostile, not friendly, just immense. Reality fractured above Konoha, but differently than before. This wasn't a tier or a doorway. This was reality itself acknowledging something's arrival, something so fundamentally powerful that existence made room for it automatically. A figure descended, their form shifting between states, sometimes solid, sometimes energy, sometimes existing as pure concept. When they solidified enough to communicate, Naruto recognized power that exceeded everything except the first god. Naruto Jin Mori, the being spoke, voice carrying harmonics from beyond conventional existence. I am the architect of infinity, one of the original primordials who helped shape the multiverse's fundamental structure. I've watched your journey with interest. Another primordial? Naruto grinned. Here to test me? Challenge me. Because I should warn you, I just defeated the eternal champion, and I'm always ready for. I'm not here to fight you, the architect interrupted gently. I'm here to offer you a choice. You've achieved transcendent mode, defeated opponents across realities, proven yourself among the multiverse's strongest beings, but you're still bound to this single reality, this single timeline as your home base. What are you suggesting? Ascension. Join the Primordial Council, the beings who maintain the multiverse's stability, who prevent reality from collapsing into chaos. You'd gain access to every universe simultaneously, ability to travel freely across all dimensions, and purpose beyond simply fighting strong opponents. Naruto considered this carefully. What would that mean for Konoha? For this reality? You could still protect it, actually protect it better, since you'd have authority to prevent threats before they reach this universe. But you'd also have responsibilities beyond this single world. And if I refuse, then you continue as you are, primordial status, transcendent mode, strongest fighter in this reality. Nothing changes except you miss the opportunity to expand your scope beyond single universe concerns. Naruto looked at Konoha, at the village he'd sworn to protect, then at the infinite multiverse beyond, filled with challenges, opponents, opportunities to grow even stronger. I need time to think about this. Of course, the offer remains open indefinitely. The architect began fading. But Naruto, you've achieved something remarkable, becoming a primordial through evolution rather than original existence. Whether you join the council or not, you've already changed the multiverse simply by proving such ascension is possible. They vanished, leaving Naruto alone with his thoughts. Guy found him an hour later. What was that presence? An offer, Naruto replied, to join the primordial council, to expand beyond this single reality. What will you do? Naruto was quiet for a long moment, then smiled. I don't know yet. For the first time since I started remembering Jin Mori's abilities, I'm not sure what the next step should be. Ascending would let me protect Konoha better, fight stronger opponents, explore the entire multiverse, but it would also mean leaving, at least partially. The youthful spirit must choose its own path, Guy said wisely. But know this, whatever you decide, Konoha will support you. You've already given this village more protection than we could ever repay. Thanks, Guy-sensei. As night fell, Naruto remained on the monument, contemplating his future. The reborn god, the primordial champion, the being who transcended integration to achieve something unprecedented. What would be his next evolution? The multiverse waited for his answer. And somewhere in the origin point, the first god smiled, knowing that whatever Naruto chose, it would be spectacular. Because the Monkey King never did anything halfway. And his story, the story of a god reborn as a ninja, of a warrior who achieved primordial status through endless combat and evolution, was far from over. It was only beginning. And his own terms. Epilogue, 1 year later. Naruto made his choice. He accepted the architect's offer, but on his own terms. Well, he joined the Primordial Council as a part-time member, spending half his time maintaining multiverse stability, the other half protecting Konoha and training to push even further beyond his current limits. The council accepted these terms, recognizing that Naruto's unique perspective, as the only primordial who'd achieved status through evolution rather than primordial existence, made him a made him valuable regardless of his part-time status. He continued growing stronger, unlocked new primordial arts, developed techniques that combined renewal taekwondo with concepts from across the multiverse, and slowly, steadily worked toward the theoretical absolute mode that the first god had mentioned. The Eternal Champion returned for their rematch as promised, having trained across 50 additional universes and developed entirely new combat styles specifically to counter Transcendent mode. The battle lasted 3 days and ended in a draw, with both fighters pushed to their absolute limits. Kale and the Infinite Legion became allies after witnessing Naruto's ascension to the Primordial Council, their Threshold Guardians organization coordinating with the Council to maintain dimensional stability. The Voidwalkers occasionally visited Konoha, their council leader having developed genuine respect for the being who defeated them in combat. They brought news from across the multiverse, warnings of emerging threats, and occasional friendly sparring matches that helped Naruto refine his techniques. And through it all, Naruto remained fundamentally himself, battle-hungry, optimistic, always pushing forward, always seeking the next challenge. Guy continued training with him when Naruto was in Konoha, both understanding that their student-teacher relationship had evolved into something beyond conventional hierarchy. They were comrades, brothers in martial arts, united by their shared belief that hard work and dedication could transcend any limit. Tsunade eventually retired as Hokage, passing the position to Kakashi, who managed the village with competent efficiency, while knowing that Konoha's true protection came from its resident primordial. And Naruto? He stood on the Hokage monument one evening, Yoi in hand, Transcendent mode flickering around him as he practiced a new technique, one that might possibly lead toward absolute mode. Always another level, he murmured, executing a kick that affected 17 different realities simultaneously. Always another fight, always another peak to transcend. Somewhere across the multiverse, beings watched him with interest, some with respect, some with challenge in their hearts, some simply curious about this unprecedented primordial. And Naruto grinned, feeling their attention, welcoming their eventual challenges. Because he was Naruto Uzumaki, Jin Mori reborn, the Monkey King Transcendent, primordial champion, and member of the Primordial Council. He was the reborn god. And his story would continue as long as the multiverse provided opponents worthy of fighting, techniques worthy of mastering, and levels worthy of transcending. Forever. The true end.
So that's what happens when the legacy of the Monkey King flows through Konoha's greatest hero. If you felt that divine power surge through your screen, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we're just getting started. More godly transformations, more legendary fusions, more impossibilities shattered. This is just the beginning. Believe it. I'll see you in the next one.